welcome to the Southern Final for Division 2 here in Britball. I'm Sean Endicott. I'm here along with, I can't hear you, say your name for us, mate.
My name's Matthew Neville.
Matthew Neville and I here for play-by-play and commentary for Onside Productions. As you can hear in the background, the teams are trotting out on the field. What a great sight to see, isn't it?
It's absolutely fantastic. The feeling you hear at the moment, it's absolutely phenomenal. I'm loving it.
It's great to see. So we have a matchup between the Hertfordshire Cheetahs and then the team that's currently marching onto the field right now, the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts. Two teams not only with a great season so far, but also some great mascots and iconography. Looking great. Really good to see these outfits looking so great. And you might even get some mascots that you get to see around today. Great to see.
It's absolutely fantastic. We've got the Portsmouth playing in blue and yellow, and of course we've got the Hertfordshire Cheetahs playing in black and gold. Getting ready to come out now.
It might be a bit difficult to see on camera, but the Cheetahs are yellow on top, black on the bottom, and Portsmouth, it's a very dark blue on the top, and then a yellow on the bottom. So they both look somewhat similar, but remember the Cheetahs are there in yellow up top. These teams are no strangers to each other. Both these teams played each other twice this season, splitting 1-1, and over the last 3 years, the lead goes over to the Dreadnoughts 3-1. We spoke to both coaches here before the game, and there have been quite a few changes since those old matchups. So really, it's splitting the difference between this season, what they did earlier, and competing here in this final.
Yeah. I have been speaking to some of the Cheetah players, being a former Cheetah myself, because they had a couple of their main starters out during the season, which was a bit of a worry. But looking at Cheetahs and looking at the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts, I think this is going to be a game for the ages. Truly, these guys are evenly matched, and I think they really are truly going to go all the way.
Again, we'll get to the coaches' interviews in a bit here, but speaking to both coaches earlier, while both of these teams have secured a promotion, neither of them is looking at this as a consolation game or somehow second-hand game. They're both fighting for pride, they're fighting for momentum, and they're fighting for closure on the end of the season. So you can hear around us, there's a great atmosphere, not only the music, but there are supporters here from the Cheetahs with those nice loud football style horns. And there's former players, there's mascots, there's staff, there's all sorts of people here. I believe from both sides you see some people over on the Dreadnought sideline as well when we look across the way once we switch there. So both teams lining up here for, I don't know if they're doing card checks today, but certainly, getting ready for the game here.
Card checks taken care of, I believe.
So this Division 2 game, it used to be a bit more ground and pound, just like the rest of Britball, but we're starting to see teams air it out a bit these days, aren't we?
Definitely. You've got some fantastic wide receivers here who are willing to fight for the ball, go up for the ball. On the other side of the ball, you've got fantastic defensive backs who are willing to fight for their side. And as well as that, you have got a fantastic ground game to come up. You really, really do. And I'm really looking forward to watching this.
I'm excited. When I spoke to the head coach of the teams, it definitely running game was still a factor. In fact, number 30 on the Cheetahs is particularly lethal, I believe.
I believe that is Adam Adedenji.
Yeah,
I believe.
So he's a former university player there out of Nottingham Trent University and a big part of their offense here. So we're going to have the national anthem here as these players line up here in respect for the country. A great sign there. Both teams lined up for that. Good sight to see.
Absolutely fantastic. Nothing makes you feel better than God Save the Queen. I'll say that now. Really gets you going, gets that blood going. I love it.
I have to admit, growing up in the U.S., we stole the melody for that song and changed the words.
Yes,
so,
you did.
To Let Freedom Ring and a bunch of things about America. So you come here and you get, oh yes, God Save the Queen. You got to make sure all my references to the right song. But that's our fault for stealing the melody.
So I'm pretty sure there's things we need to apologize for as well. Don't worry about it.
All right, let's see. Have we had the coin toss yet? No, we're about to have the coin toss here. Now, we did mention earlier, just because there is going to be some passing in this game, but that does not mean that there aren't some big lads on both sides of the ball. Just scanning the sidelines here, I can see the Cheetahs have some mammoth units here. I believe number 91's on the Cheetah side. It's just a gargantuan human being, and they got quite a few there. And across the way for the Cheetahs as well, you can see that. I'm sorry, Portsmouth here. Okay, so the Portsmouth coaches here and I spoke earlier before the game, and they talked about the importance of this and the importance of how this game is closer for the season. Well, Coach, thank you very much for being here. First things first, congratulations for making it all the way to this final. Let's talk about your season so far and how your team got here.
We won football games mainly. No, I mean, I don't know what to say. This is our first time we've got anywhere close to this. Last season we had our first win ever winning season. Managed to pick up 7 wins in a regular season. Had a couple of games against the West Conference, Torbay and South Wales, who were the #1 seed, and we're seeing these guys again. A familiar face.
Now, you've faced these guys multiple times here before. I believe you currently have the lead against the Cheetahs, 3-1. Yeah. What are you expecting today from the Cheetahs?
Very, very tough game. They're a very proficient offence. Probably the best passing offence we've had this season, the best offence altogether. They've got some tremendous players. Some of their players are top quality. So, yeah, I expect the toughest game we had all season. It was really tough at their place, so I expect this one to be another step up from that.
This has been your most successful year to date. What's been different this year compared to years past?
We got a bunch of good transfers in, to be honest with you. A bunch of good players came in. People knowing the system a bit more. A new offensive coordinator. We've worked very well together. It's just gone. Everything seems to have gone right, really. One of those seasons just where things have fallen our way.
For those who aren't familiar with your team, your offense, defense, all the phases of the game, what's something they should look out for today? Maybe something that makes your team a bit unique, something that you really emphasize.
Special teams. If you like special teams, hopefully we do that well. You want to watch out for number 21, Ben Myers, returning punts and kicks. He's a tremendous player. On defence, I mean, we've had 6 shutouts this year, but the toughest defence, I think, in Division 2 total. So, I mean, watch out for that.
A lot of viewers here are going to be new both to Britball in general, but also to Division 2. Let's talk about the style of play in Division 2. Is it more air raid, more ground and pound? What do you usually see at this division?
A lot more run heavy. We've played an I-form offence, a wing T offence, another I-form offence. These guys are air raid, throw a lot of screens, throw a lot of passes. So, yeah, I mean, you should be looking at the best Division 2 has to offer, I think, here.
Some people have talked about this game in that promotions are already insured. You're definitely going to Div 1 no matter what happens today, win, lose, or draw. Yeah. But based on me going around the sidelines today, this is a big game for both sides. So let's talk about that. Why is this game still important to you guys, even though you've already secured that promotion?
Pride. I mean, that's the #1 reason. I mean, we've split with these guys, won one, lost one. We want to prove that we're the best team in Division 2, and they want to do the same. I know it's important to all of us on that, and to win a championship at any level is tremendous. I know it's only Division 2, and a lot of people, you know, don't have as much respect for that, but you don't get very many chances to win a championship, so you've got to go all out when you get the chance.
Thank you very much, Coach. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So we'll get back to the other coaches that we spoke from the head coach of the Cheetahs side at halftime here. But while we were over with the coaches' interviews, we can see Hertfordshire won the toss, but they deferred to the second half.
Yep.
So we're going to get to see the Portsmouth Dreadnought offense here to start out the first half.
I think we're in for a good one there, because I do know that Hertfordshire Cheetahs have an absolutely fantastic defence, and their D-line is truly something to behold that I'm really looking forward to seeing.
It should be good to see here. People are lining up. You can hear this nice, loud music here. Before we go ahead and start the game, I just want to, and we'll mention this a few times, a big shout out to BAFA. BAFA is the whole reason that we can be here streaming this situation for On-Side Productions, and it's a big deal. Obviously, we have the Premiership Final and the Division 1 Final, but with this, we kind of get a bit more of that complete set feel, covering all these different levels, covering this Division 2 Final. So a big shout out to BAFA and a big thanks to them.
It's absolutely fantastic. It really has come on leaps and bounds, this game. It really has, and it's wonderful that On-Side Productions, and thank you very much for having me as well. I will try and do it justice.
Happy to have you. Yeah. Nev, you started playing here in 2014. We were just talking. We've already had in the last 4 years such a big transformation. So
yeah, in the 4 years I've played, the transformation has been phenomenal to something like this, a wonderful stadium like this, and the support has just been fantastic, and I'm happy to see where it goes.
And with the bang of the drums and a kickoff, a deep kick there to the left side of the field. Number 4 scoots up there, tries to cut back, but an excellent tackle by Hertfordshire's number 23. What an excellent play there to start out the game, and that tackle by number 23, Terrell Jeffers, there tackling the Dreadnoughts, number 4, Benny Debra. So now the offense trotting out here. What do you expect to see from this Cheetahs defense to start out here lined up against Portsmouth?
I expect to see explosions from the D-line. I expect to see the linebackers all over the field, absolutely destroying them. I really do see that, but I'm happy. I'm really excited to see what the Portsmouth do with this. I really
Should be
do.
in for a good game. They line up with a heavy set here. Every single person inside the box. And a handoff to the fullback there up the middle to get a gain of 9 yards to start out here. And that is number 27, Will Perkis.
Absolutely beautiful hole made up there by the O-line. You can see the O-line not quite as big as the Cheetahs, but look, can just prove in that last play, really can open it wide for them, sending them straight into the linebackers.
Doing well on the numbers side as well. A lot of these times in these jumbo set, you're bringing in tight ends that look undersized. Definitely not seeing that here when they come out here. So they are putting all 5 offensive linemen there, as many as they can on the line. Now they're motioning 1 receiver on to the left, and they've switched to a completely different formation here. Overloaded on the left with number 70 there. Hands it up the middle to number 27, and weaves his way in and out for a first down.
A very good pick up there by the Cheetahs defensive on that one. Very, very good.
Looks like we're going to hear a lot from Perkis today. Seems to be their stable back. Unless I'm blind, then that's actually number 21. It's a bit hard to see. The announcer said number 21, which in that case would be Lucas Keynes. So we'll get a verification on that in a minute. Well, good start out there. Get a first down for the Dreadnoughts. And they look like they were going to just do a run up the middle in a cloud of smoke before they motioned out here to a different formation. They now have 3 set out to the left close with 2 stacked on the left-hand side. A sweep, big toss to the left, and a stiff arm by number 21, but he's brought down, but there is a flag on the play. So I apologize for earlier. That is number 21, which on the Dreadnoughts is Ben Myers. So I apologize for the mistake on the name there. And good pursuit by the defense, but it seems to be a flag here. Let's see what it is.
That was a wonderful pursuit on that one there.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15 yards from the end of the run, automatic first down.
Doesn't matter how well you pursued if you bring them down by the face cage. I know.
Let's hope that's one of very few that we have today for
like,
both sides.
We'd like to see a good, clean game here, but you got to, face cage, mostly about safety.
Exactly. You only get one head, so be ever so careful with it.
That big offensive line trotting down the field for the Dreadnoughts. Number 5 split out to the bottom of your screen, and 1 receiver up to the top. Number 84 lined up to the right with another large tight end there. Now motioning the running back out. Empty set. Number 5 makes a catch, jukes a defender, and gets that first down. Dreadnoughts number 5 making an excellent grab there, and that is Jake Smith. There are 2 number 5s on the Dreadnoughts. The one on offense is Jake Smith. That's a good setup there. You had a bit of a naked block there on the left side of the line. Yep. Quarterback did a good job to get that pass out.
He bit very hard on that one on the defense, and it really did pay off. Going out to the sideline, getting through, and a wonderful juke as well.
Yeah,
but just getting through there and getting those yards. Another set of another set of downs.
We haven't seen him go downfield yet as they push inside the 30-yard line. Let's see if they try to extend that a bit. All their passes have been inside of 5 yards, and then the yards after the catch. Another handoff to the left side of the field for number 21. Myers there.
And if I'm correct, I think I saw a pulling guard on that one. Did an absolute wonderful job lead blocking there for number 4.
All our viewers, you have 2 offensive linemen commentating on this game, so you're going to have lots of line play discussed.
There's going to be lots of love for the linemen.
We might only talk about lines at one point.
I'm absolutely fine with that.
That's fine. Let's get rid of those what they call skill position players.
Of course, I started my life as a lineman. I started as a right guard with the Cheetahs, and I really look forward to seeing them play on the next series. I really do.
Well, they've been bursting holes open so far for the Dreadnoughts. Let's see if they can keep this up. Might see a bit of pass protection, though, because they have 4 receivers set to the top of your screen. Quarterback drops back to pass, heavy coverage.
Over the middle.
There is a flag on the play, but as it stands, that's a completion for 15 yards. So big number 42, Aaron Evers.
And another flag in the backfield there.
There are many flags. I think there's one near the tackle and then 2 flags thrown near the line of scrimmage. So we'll see if these offset or if they're on the same side. I'm going to take a guess and say there's probably a holding on that offensive line based on the location of the flag. But we'll see if it offsets because that flag downfield.
But again, talking about the offensive line, you're looking at that Dreadnought offensive line, and it really is going hard this first
There are 2
drive.
fouls on the play. Personal foul, chop block, Portsmouth. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, Hertfordshire. By rule, those penalties offset. Replay, 2nd down.
It's a lot of laundry on the field, and they just get a do-over.
We had a couple of issues with this cut blocking rule. We had it last week, playing for the Falcons. It's a bit of something we've got to get used to, and I'm sure these guys are going to get used to.
There has been a bit of a change with chop blocks and cut blocks over the last few years. The main thing is, like many rules, it is about player safety. It's very easy to injure someone with the chop block. Here we go, quarterback drops back. He is running backwards. That was over the head of the receiver. There was some contact, but it's not only within 5 yards, but that was far over the head of the receiver, so no risks there.
I'm noticing the Hertfordshire defense are really doing a wonderful job of setting that edge and getting around and getting pressure on that quarterback. They're doing a wonderful job with some really wonderful speed and getting around those tackles.
The quarterback, Stu Reese, for the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts, he has no option to roll out to his left or his right because there was edge rushers on each side, so he had to drop backwards, which really eliminates how much power you can get into your throws. So here we are on a 3rd and 7. 3 receivers at the top of your screen, 1 running back in and 1 at the bottom. Motioning out to have 4 on the top side of your screen. Drops back to pass, goes downfield, almost picked off a sound pass defense by number 10 for the Cheetahs, Ben Brown.
I think you really got to keep an eye on that backfield there with the likes of Ben Brown and Adam Scurfield. They're going to be, if there's anything to stop this team from throwing, it will be those 2. I honestly believe that.
That safety duo has definitely been highlighted, and you can see why it was there. There was good coverage by a corner as well.
Yeah.
Brown almost got a hand on it. Not quite a pick, but a good pass defense. As I expect you'll see throughout the game, not a ton of kicking from this distance. It would be a 40-yard field goal just about.
Yep.
So we're going to see them go for it here on 4th and 7. Fullback in, man in motion from bottom to top of the screen. A pitch out to the left. He's going to have to cut back here, and he's going to spin out of a tackle. He's losing yards, but trying to break free.
And down he goes.
Great gang tackling there.
Fantastic pursuit there from the Cheetahs. Fantastic pursuit.
Excellent pursuit by the Cheetahs there. Looking more like a pack animal. I don't know how cheetahs hunt in the wild. I don't know if they do it in packs, but these Cheetahs certainly have on defense so far.
I believe Cheetahs to be scavengers, and to be honest, these guys aren't doing them justice.
Well, now we get the first look at the Hertfordshire Cheetahs offense. We can see here those big offensive linemen up front, and then a number of athletic skill position players trotting out beside and behind them. Let's go ahead and see if they go a bit more through the air than we saw the Dreadnoughts do. The Dreadnoughts more of a methodical, close to the middle of the field approach. Cheetahs look to be spreading it out here a bit more from the start of the game. And here's the snap. It is a handoff right up the middle, slightly. Oh, no, it's a fake. And a wide open player, number 89, running down the field, streaking down the left side for a touchdown there. What an excellent fake. And a catch by TJ Ajayi. He not only fooled me, he fooled the entire Dreadnought defense. What a play.
Well, a fantastic opening play from TJ there. I know of TJ. He's played for the Cheetahs for a very long time, and he's a very good man to go to. So there was us thinking, are they going to come out with a throw? We thought it was run, going straight up the front with Ajayi, with Mr. Adedenji. We were fooled as well as the Dreadnoughts on that one.
There's Ajayi jogging back to the field here, getting high fives from his teammates, as he should be. Wide open, and then a good throw to get it to him. I have to say, sometimes those wide open throws are the hardest to make because you get a little too much time to think about it.
Yes, definitely. And the O-line pass protection there, just a solid wall, absolute solid wall with the
Great
likes
fake.
of... Yeah.
Oh, gets your blood flowing here. Isn't that excellent? Great to see. It looks like they are going for 2 here. They have 2 receivers split out to the bottom of your screen, one up top in single coverage there. with the running back. A bad snap, and that's going to be tackle for a loss, but it is 2-point conversion, so just a failed conversion there.
Still a lot of game to go, still a lot more. Portsmouth are still definitely in this one. I'm looking forward to see their answer.
A great way to start out the game, though.
Fantastic. I mean, the Portsmouth drive, really testing that defense, running it up the middle, getting some good coverage, getting the pulling lineman. I'm looking forward to see what they do to answer back.
If you're going to run a play like that for the Cheetahs there, I think that's a great time to do it. The defense is looking for you to start out a little bit more conservatively. You fake that run, get it downfield. That might not work later in the game if they try it again. So if you only have one shot, get your money's worth.
Make that statement early on.
Exactly right.
Let them know what they're dealing with.
A lot of these games in the last few weeks have been decided only by 1 or 2 scores. So
yes.
You really need to close out here. Last week in the semifinal for the Falcons, we saw quite a close matchup back and forth at the end. One score can make a big difference.
Yes.
What a beautiful kick by the Cheetahs there. Dreadnoughts take it right at their own goal line with a little bit of blocking up the middle, running to the right side of the field, breaking just a little bit of tackles and pushing ahead to the 25, continuing to push through the scrum, and it gets up to the 30-yard line. That is the Dreadnought running back.
I think by the looks of that, the Portsmouth guy may have run into his own man there, but he definitely fought there. He definitely fought for those yards, definitely.
Yeah, some yards after contact on a kickoff, not something you always see. Can I just point out, watching in warm-ups, the kicking game in these warm-ups has actually been quite impressive. The Cheetahs not only have the kickoff there that went 70 yards, which is more than you see in a lot of Brit Ball games and a lot of games in general, but they also, to look out for, number 9, their punter is actually very good as well.
Yeah, but I think they've had a very, very good when it comes to special teams. Cheetahs have always been very specific on understanding that special teams is very key to this game.
The Cheetahs blistering fan support here with a fully formed, what seems to be drum line with some snare drums, horns, and a mascot. And now we're seeing a stop it to play. I don't know if it's a timeout or just a substitution here, but I definitely can see the crowd noise being a factor here. That Cheetah side really showing up.
And obviously we're sat here in a stadium, so the sound is just going straight onto the field.
Almost deafening. Here's a snap and a run up the middle, just to the right side. A great tackle there by the Cheetahs defense, showing another strong stop there.
But so far, give it to Portsmouth. They're dealing all right with the noise at the moment. They're getting those snaps off, and they're getting those runs and those handoffs really well.
And that time it was Will Perkis, number 27. So they got 2 backs that they've used so far. Quarterback Stu Reese jogging from the coaches to get that play. Take a moment to point out what an absolutely gorgeous day for this game.
Absolutely fantastic.
Probably one of the best days of the month.
I think so. I think we're very lucky. We're at the tail end of the summer, and we're getting a nice clear day.
2 receivers out to the bottom of your screen. Running back swings out to the right, but there is a fumble. And a good stop there by the Cheetahs. Almost a disaster there for the Dreadnoughts. Your screen, running back swings out to the right, but there is a fumble.
What they did is
and a good stop there by the put him in motion, or their left, put him in motion, and then they tried to fake it to the fullback the other way, and just your screen, running back swings out to the right, but there is a fumble.
You got to do things one step at a time.
And a good stop there by the Cheetahs. Almost a disaster there for the Dreadnoughts.
Once you start thinking
running
American
back swings
football,
out to the right, but there is a
then you
fumble.
start worrying.
Here's that big, and a good stop there by the 42, lined up at the top of your screen in a spread offense here on the 3rd and long. The other way. Pressure there.
Nothing over the middle.
Running back swings out to the in a spread offense here on the 3rd and long. Kind of just pressure that one away.
Nothing over the middle.
Running back swings out to the receiver in a spread offense here on the 3rd and long. 5 yards short of him there. Great pass rush so far by the Cheetahs.
They're setting that edge, and it's fantastic. Not giving the quarterback time to look at his options and to work out what's going on.
Now, I'm going to point this out quietly just directly into my mic here. Are we going to see a trick play here by the Cheetahs here on special teams? They have 2 guys out back to receive this punt, and they're on 2 completely opposite sides of the field. But first, we'll have a timeout by the Dreadnoughts. It's a very interesting punt return formation.
There's nothing I've ever seen before.
I'm not sure if they
Portsmouth.
just assume the kick's not going down the middle
8
of the
minutes,
field.
7 seconds, first quarter.
It's very, very interesting. They have a man over the middle about 15, 20 yards from the punt, and then 2 split back near their own 20 and 25.
Well, this is a game. It's all to play for in this game, and really, I would expect the unexpected, as it were.
Single gunners on the bottom and top of your screen with only 1 defender on each of them. No double teams here. A lot of pressure up that middle of the field. We'll see if that pressure gets to him on this punt. It's a relatively deep punt over the middle. Number 89 grabs it for the Cheetahs. A good block there, and he's streaking up the field. Again. Past the 40 and rumbles his way to the 42. That's number 89 for the Cheetahs, TJ Ajayi, same man that caught that touchdown pass earlier on the day. Very interesting formation. I guess they assumed that they weren't going to kick it that deep, and seemed to pay off. Good return of about 20 yards. Maybe more careful with that edge rush, maybe? Yeah, could be. It was interesting for me to see the coverage team. It was single coverage on the top and bottom of their screens there. Yeah. There weren't double gunners or anything like that. So we'll see if that comes back to bite them with only blocking them with one player. Here we are with that spread formation for the Cheetahs. 2 receivers on each side, and now a running back motioning just to the right of the quarterback. Handoff up the middle to that.
Swarmed over by the Dreadnoughts. There's a very good play by the Dreadnoughts there.
Adam Adeniji getting just about 2-3 yards up the middle of the field. So here we go with another huddle, 2nd and about 7 near midfield. We don't really have a chance to see the identity of the Cheetahs offense yet. Obviously, we only saw that one big play. So interesting to see what they come out on this drive.
It's games like this that you're going to have to, I would say, stick to the ground, grind them out. Especially if you're going up against a 3-4 defense. Or is that a 3-3 stack?
Looks like a 4-3, well, 3-3 with one offset near the line. So here we go, a little pressure up the middle. A juke to his right, trying to get around the edge, and he does. And they stopped him just short of the first down, but it looks like he might have made it depending on the spot. That is Adam Adeniji again.
There was a fantastic block there from number 66, Luke Clark, giving Adeniji just a little bit longer just to get around that edge.
Adeniji pushing up there. It looks like they are going to give him the first down. That is indeed the first down. They've motioned from the ref there. Good running there. Pushed out to his right. There was pursuit up into the backfield, but he managed to juke just outside of it and push up for that first down. 3 receivers to the top of the screen now. We'll see if they do something tricky here, possibly a screen pass to the left. 3 receivers, not quite in a trips formation, but not that far from each other either. Well, it's a run up the middle to Adeniji, and he swivels his way for another first down, 15 yards up the middle of the field.
A nice big gap for him there, although the Cheetahs did sort of let one defensive player through on that one, but Adeniji just being the fantastic running back that he is.
I'd almost say that was more slither of a snake than a juke. He didn't really make any quick moves that were immediately left and right, just kind of just enough to the right, just enough to the left to make those defenders miss.
Definitely. And you can definitely tell that the Portsmouth defense, they're keeping an eye on him. They're keeping an eye on Adeniji. They really are.
We'll see if they can contain him here. Just inside the 25-yard line. First down, 2 receivers to the top of the screen and a fullback back in, so it's a pitch to the left to Adeniji. Being pursued by a defender, gets around 1 and pushes into contact there for another 3 or 4 yards. They had a fullback out there to the left, and then they pitched it to the same side.
You see another Portsmouth player get through there. I mean, I wonder what's happening down on that O-line. Out and pursuing him and making sure he doesn't go too far. Well,
you gotta contain that edge, though.
You've got to keep that edge. It's what Portsmouth are dealing with on offense.
And if you see that fullback in and you see it's a pitch, you definitely got to assume it's going outside. You got to force that out, force it back inside, and trust your teammates to close out that play. A high snap, but another handoff to Adeniji, makes a jump cut. Sweep from his left and right, and as you've noticed throughout this drive, falls forward. Always falling forward on these plays is Adeniji.
And the O-line fighting forward, giving him those extra yards, pushing those D-line back.
A great showing by the Cheetahs offense so far. Getting that workhorse back. My fellow retrograde, Adam Adeniji, he played for the same university as me. His last year was the year before my first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was there with those NCU teams that had Adam Hope on them and Chris Stone, including Adam Hope, who's in the final that we're going to be covering with Tamworth versus the Blitz.
Warriors.
I'm sorry, wrong London team. I probably offended half the country now. So there we go here. 2 receivers to the top.
It's high snap. Those
high
snaps
snap
are
and a
higher.
fumble. Who's going to end up on that? I think it's a Dreadnought. Let's see here. It is a Dreadnought ball. So
once again, that edge rush for the Dreadnoughts has really paid off now. And those snaps were getting incrementally higher with every down.
I would say the Dreadnoughts made sure that drive was all 4 knots. That's some excellent pursuit around the edge. It was a high snap, but they took advantage of the bad play and then fell on that ball.
Definitely. Would you say they sunk their battleship?
I wouldn't say that yet. But it's certainly a hit if we were playing.
It's a hit.
Well, that's got to be disappointing for the Cheetahs, but could be a chance for a momentum shift for the Dreadnoughts. See if they can get something here on offense again. Last time they drove about 60 yards down the field, but then faltered near the red zone. Snap and a handoff up the middle with a fake pass to the left, but he's met by a wall of yellow. Not going to gain much there, maybe a half a yard.
Running straight up the middle there, and number 71, Andy Dickens, who I colourfully referred to as Menace when I was training against him, as he's a notoriously difficult man to stop.
Running straight up the middle against that front, in the words of Iron Man, not a great plan.
No.
At least in that situation. We'll see if they can tire him out and be able to burst some holes through there. At least on that play, Cheetah's showing it's not an avenue you can take.
But is it maybe a plan to maybe wear out the middle?
It could be, yeah, we'll see, of course. It's very early days, still in the first quarter.
But where it is a nice day, it is also hot, which will be a factor here.
2 receivers out to the bottom, 1 in motion from the bottom of the top of your screen, number 84, with that toss to the right. Following what little blocking he has there, the Cheetahs did a good job to shed their blocks and force pretty much no gain, maybe gained a yard on that play.
A fantastic read by the Cheetahs defense there. Just all swaying to one side, all completely on top of him. Very little.
Well, we mentioned that's what the Dreadnoughts needed to do. When you see that extra man in motion, whether it's a fullback who's starting where he can block or a receiver in motion, you at least have someone cover that and assume that they're going that way while still protecting the backside. And you got to get outside of it. Did a good job by the Cheetahs to shed their blockers there.
Definitely.
Here we go on a 3rd and 6, just outside their own 20-yard line. A bunch of now 4 receivers to the bottom of your screen. He is going to look to his left. Over the middle of the field, that big number 42 with a strong stiff arm lumbering through.
Maybe that's a first
down.
down.
It looks like he fell in for a first down. Aaron Evers getting that completion, and they have given him the first down. I wouldn't want to tackle that man in the open field.
He is a big chap. He is a very big chap. This kind of guy, don't go for the upper, go for the lower. Take
it almost
his legs
looks
out.
like they took an offensive lineman and put him in an eligible number.
You can catch, all right, you'll do.
That's why, you know what? Little secret to all our viewers. Every offensive lineman's dream is to play tight end.
Yeah, you could say that, or a delusion maybe.
Because we all want to score and catch the ball.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Same formation. 4 to the bottom of your screen. 4 is the wide out. And now he throws it out to the other side.
Got some blockers there.
Got some great blocking there by a receiver, and following his blocking very patiently for yet another first down. That time it is Jake Smith.
So we're
brilliant blocking there.
It's very good blocking there. We're starting to see something happen here. Are they now thinking, let's go on the outside. Let's see what we can do against those linebackers and DBs. Because, frankly, up the middle isn't working.
Trying to make them beat you in open space. If you have the athletes, I think that's a safe plan. I will say, receivers blocking is excellent to see. It's not a skill that all receivers focus on, and they did a really good job there. So
there was a definite wall for him to run behind and get that first down.
Here we go with 2 receivers sent him to the top, and Jake Smith down by his lonesome on the bottom of the field. Edge rushes with the ears pinned back. A pitch out to the right. Not much in terms of blocking, but manages to squeeze just around the edge for a gain of about 4 yards. Good job to make something out of nothing.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, 5 yards, I think that's pretty good for any run, to be honest.
Go ahead and take a look at that here on the replay. Just gets around the edge, some good blocking. We're seeing some good open field blocking by these Dreadnoughts. Let's see if that can break one open.
Definitely. I think they're going to need it. They really are going to truly need it so they can stop that D-line and those linebackers from getting in and stopping them for 4 or 5 yard gains.
We'll have to see if the Cheetahs make an adjustment, spreading out their linebackers a bit. As of now, 3 of their linebackers are lined up pretty close to the box. Here's a big rush there, pushing inside. They go around the edge, and a weird leg tackle, but it's somewhat effective. He brings the player down, but it is another first down for the Cheetahs. Seemed to grab by anything he could. He got his high leg.
Yes. So there you go, up the middle that time. Were the Cheetahs expecting another run to the outside?
Well, you did see they moved some of their players that were inside. They pushed them to the edge. They had 5 or 6 guys on the defensive line that time.
Yes.
It's good adjustment by the Dreadnoughts. As soon as they stretch it out, bring it back in.
Yeah.
Good coaching there, good adjustment.
I think we're going to see a lot of that today with the Dreadnoughts. They're going to ground and pound this defense and ground out some points.
Hey, they're only down by 6, so you drag out the clock as long as you want, as long as you can score. Here's that jumbo formation. Quarterback is under center with a fullback and 2 running backs behind him. Everyone inside the box. Direct snap, or not a direct snap, a quick handoff to the fullback for nothing. Maybe a gain of 1.
And of course, these two teams have met each other twice over the year, and every one of those times has been a very close contested match, which I think we're going to get here again today. I really do.
Be interesting to see if they do that formation a few times, if they then go to a pitch. They had 11 guys within about 4 yards of the ball, and I'd like to see if they try to take that around the edge from the same formation later on in the match.
Yeah.
A beautiful day here at Leicester Road Football Club, as you see that above the screen. And now there is a stoppage in play. That is the end of the first quarter. Hertfordshire Cheetahs up 6-0 on the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts. They're going to move about 10 yards to the other side of the field and start again. Not much of a break here in quarter breaks here in BAFA, so we won't have to wait long for the play.
You know, one thing I've always found when playing is when it comes to the end of the quarter, you always say the same thing. Oh, what? I've hardly started. What are you on about?
Already? Hey, with this much running, I think we could see a very fast game.
Definitely, definitely.
Bit of water break here for the players. Bit longer of a quarter break than I'm used to, which is good to see. Got to give them a chance to get a breather.
Definitely. I think, again, it's going to be a physical game. We've seen Portsmouth. They're quite keen of the ground game.
I don't know who's technically considered the home team for this. I would say there's actually a very noticeable advantage for the Cheetahs. If you see on camera, you can see the edge of the shadows. So you see at the bottom of your screen, number 6, 76, and 21 are just past the shadows. Behind that, their entire sideline's in the shade, as opposed to the Dreadnought sideline entirely in the sun. No umbrellas, no tents.
No.
Let's see if fatigue and heat come into a factor here. Might see them sneaking into the stands at halftime, trying to get.
We have had that this year at the Falcons when the heat has been very, very intense.
It's not that hot today, but when you're in the sun that long, it can come into effect. Jumbo formation with that toss gets a block by number 71 around the seal, but some great pursuit and gang tackling by the Cheetahs, forcing him out of bounds.
Again, that pursuit is absolutely fantastic. Just keeping on him, keep an eye on him, swarming on that ball. It's like they have some sort of device to know where the ball is. It's fantastic.
The Cheetahs defender Jordan Legg on that tackle there at the end, in addition to other Cheetahs.
Yeah.
He was legging it on that play, but he also got a bit of a speaking to from the ref. I think he possibly a bit of a warning.
So it's going to be a long game. So you've got to keep your heads.
3rd and 7 here.
There's everything to play for today.
The Cheetahs with 3 men in the dirt with their hands down, 4 linebackers with 2 around the edge. Linebackers drop 1 into coverage. Get pressure there, and it's an interception by number 10 for the Cheetahs. What a great play by Ben Brown.
That's that man again. It's that man I told you to look out for, Ben Brown.
That safety play really holding strong here for the Cheetahs in the first 2 drives for the Dreadnoughts.
Pocket protection, though, for the Dreadnoughts was good on that one. Gave him good enough time, but maybe did he panic, the quarterback?
I think he did a bit. In that case, I think you just roll outside the pocket and throw it away.
Yeah.
Nobody's open, throw it where nobody can catch it. Go find a mate you like on the sidelines and toss it their way.
Yeah.
Well, the Cheetahs are moving the ball well, but so far only have 6 points to show for it.
By the looks of things, we have a change in center at the moment.
There seems to be quite a bit of discussion here. I'm not sure if there's confusion or if there's just a different play that they're trying to line up. They do have 5 on the line. Seem to have a different set of players here. 3 in the dirt for the Dreadnoughts. Could be a delay game, or do they call a timeout to
They
stop
called a
the penalty?
timeout. I saw TJ down that end calling a timeout.
Seemed to be a bit of confusion. Do you think someone had to bump their way into center, not by choice?
Delay the game.
For some
Hertfordshire.
Oh, they did call
5 yards. It remains first down.
Let's see what Martin Brown does here. Martin Brown was my quarterback when I played for the Cheetahs.
Let's see what he can do here. He's got 1 play so far for a great completion, right?
Yeah, I think that was pretty effective, yes.
See if he can do something like that again.
Although hopefully you think that the Dreadnoughts are now wise to that and hopefully won't let that happen again.
I don't think the Dreadnoughts are respecting the deep ball very much. Nobody more than 15 yards down the field for their safeties. I think that's a Adeniji pushing his way upfield, gets a nice shove from his teammate, and gets 10 yards on that first down run.
Of course, I need to make a correction here. No, Stu Butcher is still in at centre. But again, that O-line is just pushing people out of the way.
If you're going to have your safeties that only 10, 15 yards down the field, they got to get up in that run game and try to make that stop. Adeniji always falling forward on these plays. Another risky high snap.
Oh,
a nice slither by Adeniji up there. He really just moves his hips and his shoulders just enough.
Keeps his feet moving, and just not taking his legs out.
Sometimes you get a scat back, sometimes you get a power back. I'd say he's more like a fluid back. It's like watching a river run through a defense. That snap has been dangerously high, and it is high again, almost jumping to catch it there. A receiver screen out to the left and shut down soundly by the Dreadnought defense. There is a flag on the play. I'm going to say it could be an illegal formation. That's a very odd place for a flag, but we'll see if it was offsides instead. They got to get those snaps down, or you're going to see another mistake here.
Yeah.
We've seen some bad snaps stop scoring opportunities already, and that's something they definitely have to work on. You had a bad snap stop the 2-point conversion.
Yep.
You had a bad snap turn it over when you were in the red zone.
Yep.
And that time the quarterback had to jump for it to catch the snap, even for no gain.
There is no foul for an ineligible receiver downfield. The ball was caught behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, there you go. Good clarification.
Give it to the Portsmouth D-line. Probably getting that pressure on the centre, causing those snaps to go awry.
Who knows? It could be. I mean, sometimes in these situations, I think nerves can be there, and then you cool off a bit, and it gets better throughout the game. So we'll see what happens here.
For what I found, a high snap means you've held onto the ball just a little bit too long.
Yep. And what I will say, the quarterback is not that tall, so I think that might be a factor as well. So here is another snap from the Cheetahs, a little bit better, and Adeniji juking out to his right, gets around one defender, but had to go backwards to do it. Gets a little bit of blocking and rolls his way up for 5 yards.
Adeniji, they're looking for blockers, looking for TJ.
Little Barry Sanders-esque there. He lost 5 yards to gain 5 yards.
Definitely. I think if you miss that open tackle in the backfield, you're going to regret it when he makes those those 6 or 5 yards.
Well, when you have an athlete like Adeniji in the backfield, though, you can't. If you over pursue to the outside, he might just cut it in. So it's really stuck between rock and a hard place.
From what I remember of Adam, he's fantastic when it comes to cutting and breaking ankles. He's absolutely fantastic at that.
Well, here we have a spread offense by the Cheetahs, 2 receivers on each side of it, with Adeniji in the backfield. It is a fake handoff, a bit of a receiver-style screen, but that's read beautifully by Portsmouth.
Wonderful by Portsmouth.
Quick pass out to the right, but didn't get anything. Those plays are being shut down now for the Cheetahs, not getting anything on those quick passes to the outside.
That was a fantastic read by Portsmouth. Linebacker right where he needed to be. Read Martin Brown really well, knew exactly where it was going, and was there. Ready for a 4th down.
And as we mentioned before, way too long for a field goal, and a punt only gets you 10 yards if it's a touchback, so why not go for it here? Bit of a bunch on the top of your screen there. 2 receivers very close to the line of scrimmage with a fullback and a running back in. Let's see what the Cheetahs do here. Hot pursuit up the middle by the Dreadnoughts. Adeniji manages to make one defender miss, falls forward, but he is going to be short of the first down.
He is short of the game line. That will be a turnover on down.
A little bit of wiggle there by the running back, but not enough to get a first down.
Very smart move by Portsmouth. 8 men in the box. They knew what was coming. Got 8 men in the box, completely stack him up and get on him. If only that guy had got him in the backfield, they'd have those couple of extra yards for the offense.
Well, the Dreadnoughts dodging a bit of a bullet, or I don't know, what do Dreadnoughts shoot? Torpedoes?
Torpedoes, yeah,
I don't know.
So.
They've dodged another missile because the Cheetahs still only have 6 on the board. They're gaining yards every drive. I don't think the Cheetahs have any drives for less than 40 yards.
No.
But they only have 6 points from that first offensive play. Dreadnoughts now with 2 at the bottom of your screen with that big fullback into the left. And they do run behind that big fullback. But
so the Cheetahs are all over him.
Great gang tackling there. Gained about 3 yards before being forced backwards.
And that's truly the point of the running game. march down the field, chop those yards, make the defense work for it.
And you got to make them respect it as well, so you
Definitely.
can go ahead and throw it downfield.
And it's good to see the Dreadnoughts offensive line pulling, being those lead blockers, protecting their running back. It's great to see that from
I've been
Portsmouth.
impressed by the Cheetahs defensive unit as well. They're really swarming to the ball. I don't know, Cheetahs don't swarm. They're doing something to the ball. A lot of men in the box, 2 on the edge, 3 down in the dirt for the Cheetahs. A handoff up the middle to number 27. The linemen are getting downfield, but they didn't block the defenders that were in the way.
No, very, very key for being an offensive lineman. You worry about the D-line first. Don't worry about that second level unless the D-line are contained.
Now, we don't know the play call, of course. I mean, if you're designed to leave a guy for somebody else, that's an option. But if you look up here on the replay, you get the offensive linemen running downfield, making blocks 10 yards down the field, the running backs behind them. As an offensive lineman, I could say, you hate to do that. There are times where you're coached. Go up to the linebacker, your mate's helping you there, and then you turn around and you go, oh, we didn't get anything.
Yeah.
Very frustrating. Two receivers on each side, bunched a bit closer to line, man in motion from the bottom of your screen to the top 84, moving from the team's right to their left. Quarterback rolls out to his left. Does he have a man downfield? He chucks it up there, and a great catch.
That's a great catch.
I would also say that is a great catch, but I have to say, I wonder if the defense could have got there. That ball was very high.
Yeah.
And
he was surrounded by 3 defenders.
While Aaron Evers did make the catch, that ball was a sky ball with 3 defenders around. You got to think somebody needs to do a better job of getting a pass defense there.
Definitely.
Easier said than done, of course.
Of course.
Like neither of us could play safety.
Oh, well, I'll give it a go if you like.
I mean, I'll try.
I won't be very good, but...
Aaron Evers seems to be one of the crux players of this Dreadnought offense, and that's going to be either a false start or offsides. I assume a false start on the left guard there.
False start. 66. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
I think he was pulling that
down.
play. I think he looked a bit excited.
Yeah, I think he wanted someone there. He did. Obviously, snap counts are very, very, very important when it comes to an offense. Going on 1, going on 2. If you can mix it up, you can really make it difficult for the defense and really have it work in your favor.
Hey, and with the way the Cheetahs have been pursuing here, you might need to catch them offsides a few times to try to get any yards out of them.
Exactly.
Here they are trotting up to the offensive line of scrimmage. Stu Reese in at quarterback, 5 yards off where the ball is snapped. He fakes the pitch out to his right and then keeps it up the middle on a QB draw. Makes 1 defender miss and slides for just
There is a flag
2.
on the far side of the field.
It's an interesting draw play if we watch the replay here. He fakes the pitch out to his
Offside.
right, but the linebackers just didn't
55
fight enough.
defense. 5 yards previous spot. It remains first down.
And there is a flag, so that play won't count. They'll take the 5 yards instead, canceling out the false start. Back to the 39.
So would you say Portsmouth maybe stalling a bit here, or do you think they've got something left in here to punch through, just get those extra bit
Well,
of
there's
downs?
enough time in the second half for a few more drives, and it'll be interesting to see if Portsmouth can manage to get something on the board. They've opened up their playbook well so far, and they have a variety of formations. Here's another one, 21 rolling around the left side for a wheel route, but instead they look, and it is picked off by linebacker number 57. There is a flag on the field. Let's see what it is there before we get too excited for either team.
Great pressure there by the Cheetahs. There was a middle down lineman just come bursting through, caused the quarterback to panic and then just throw the ball.
I think that linebacker made a really good read. So what they did is, if you watch this replay, they had 3 at the top, and they had a running back fake the wheel, trying to make the linebackers bite. And then they had some receivers go where that wheel route would have been. You think you vacate that spot, the safeties are high and low, that's great. Except for the fact that that linebacker shifted over right to that side, made a beautiful play.
Definitely.
Good play by number 57 for the Cheetahs. That is Josh Kent. Smart play. We'll see what the call is here from the ref. This will be a very big for the momentum for the rest of this half. Well, I don't know what a group of cheetahs is called, but I do think it's a herd of zebras, or zebras.
Yes.
We are in England, of course, so a herd of zebras.
The 2 fouls
and
on
their
the play.
spokesman comes out.
Holding. Defense.
There you go.
Prior to the pass being intercepted. That penalty will be enforced previous spot, automatic first down. First down. The other foul was personal foul blocked below the waist after the interception by Gold, which is disregarded by rule. First down, Blue.
Beautiful explanation there. There's actually quite a bit to explain on that.
Yep.
The long and short, Dreadnoughts keep the ball, and they're further down the field for another first down.
That's a mistake by the Cheetahs on that one. Will it cost them? Will it cost them? Will the Portsmouth continue to march down the field and beat that defense into submission?
I think the plays where you kick yourself the most are when you have a flag when you didn't need to do it in order for the play. Sometimes a play only works because you held somebody, and other times somebody else made a play and you took it away. We'd have to watch replay to know what that is. Bottom line, though, is the Dreadnoughts have the ball. Same formation as last play, but out to the right. They throw it out to the left for their single receiver. Makes one defender miss, two defenders miss, and then is brought down by the third. Jake Smith again.
They're really using that left side of the field really well at the moment, our Portsmouth.
We're pretty much hearing Jake Smith and Aaron Evers is the only offensive plays so far for the receiving. Let's see if they open that up a bit. Not too many completions elsewhere.
And of course, with the subject of flags and stuff like that, it's all about next play. Don't worry about that flag in this one. It's the next play.
They came out with the same exact formation, but ran a different play. So that shows that they're not scared of this defense right now. Man in motion. A fake shovel pass and then a handoff up the middle. The number 21, and he pushes his way ahead for a first down.
Again, following his offensive line, blocking up those defensive linemen and those linebackers. That was a very good move by the Portsmouth offensive line there.
Ben Myers there following some blocking from his offensive line and a receiver coming in. I like that move. The Dreadnoughts, they had motion, but instead of motioning all the way across the line, they had the motioner stop and then turn upfield to block. So they had one more blocker downfield. Very clever play. First and 10 at about the 14-yard line for these Dreadnoughts. Between the drum line and the horns, I have no idea how they're getting plays out to these players. And here is the snap. Handoff up to the right side following some sound blocking and falls forward there for a gain of about 7. Great blocking on that play.
That's some fantastic blocking. I say that Dreadnoughts O-line doing fantastic. And the receivers as well. We're seeing some great blocking from the receivers as well.
There's Will Perkis again, so alternating these two running backs. Well, we'll see if they can punch it in here. It's only second down, and they're at the 11. It's a good opportunity for them to get some points on the board. And as we said, the Cheetahs have not taken advantage of those long drives, so they're only up by 6. Reese doing his best to quiet down the crowd at the line of scrimmage. A bit of a shake and bake there up the middle for a gain of about 2 or 3 yards.
So Cheetahs setting that edge, forcing that running back on the inside.
Marcus got forced inside, and he only gained about 2, so that brings up 3rd and 1 at the 9-yard line.
What do you reckon here then, Sean? Pass?
I was going to ask you. I think they're going to go for the end zone, but we'll see what happens.
You think? Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Let's see what happens here. They're going to Cheetahs got to be very careful on that far side of the field.
I don't know how their place kicking game is, so they might go for it on 4th anyway. So you might go for the end zone here. They got 4 receivers to the top of the screen. And it's a QB draw, spins his way and extends. Let's see where they spot it. That's a brilliant job extending as he fell ahead. Stu Reese made a great play here. They're debating on where to spot it. Watch this play here, just as he falls down, right before his knee hits the ground. I thought his left knee was down a bit earlier, but you know what? I don't think they're trotting up here to watch the replay. In real time, that's quite hard to see on when that knee went down. I mean, feel free. I think they're allowed to if you want to come check. Now there's a stoppage in play. Is this a 2-minute warning or a timeout?
Timeout. Officials, 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left and a half.
Warning.
Here we go. We're getting ready. Get ready to get at the end of the first half here, and it's been exactly what I expected it to be. It's hard for ground and pound. The Cheetahs got away with a very, very good throw on that first one, coming out swinging.
I agree. We looked at it. That first offensive play with the Cheetahs scoring so easily, you think, oh, is this going to be a one-sided affair? Absolutely not. Here, the Dreadnoughts knocking on that goal line door with a handoff to the left, cuts it up to the middle, pushes his way ahead. The Cheetahs tried to strip that ball to no avail. Dreadnoughts get a gain of 3, so now it's 2nd and goal from about the 5.
This could be very, very good for the Dreadnoughts to go into the half with a score and a conversion. Could really be something good for the Dreadnoughts.
I would say in a worst-case scenario, they managed to take a massive amount of time off the clock. I mean, it's just been a very long drive.
Very.
Marching down the field with this primary rushing attack, they've eaten up almost what feels like the entire 2nd quarter.
Yeah.
And here's a handoff to the right, following some blocking. We had a pulling blocker, but just couldn't manage to get it.
Once again, fantastic setting the edge there by the Cheetahs. Absolutely fantastic.
I feel like there might be a bit of a miscommunication here between the running back and the puller. If you look here, I think it's the left guard, number 66, he pulled out to the right side, and then the running back cut outside of him. Again, not knowing their playbook, it's a bit difficult to tell, but I think there's a chance he would have had more success cutting inside and following the rear of the player who's pulling.
They've had a lot of success with pulling guards up the middle and lead blocking. They've had a lot of success with that.
I think it's hard to read that in real time, and obviously we're watching a replay, but I think you have to cut that and follow the hips of your pulling guard. 3 receivers to the top of your screen, drops back the pass. He does find a receiver. It's a bit of a sky ball out of bounds.
It's overthrown.
That brings up 4th and 10 with 27 seconds left here in the first half. Let's see what they do here. Are they bringing out a kicking team? That would bring it to within one field goal if they manage to convert this.
Any points? Good points.
Based on the center's stance, I'm going to say it is a kick. If he snapped with 2 hands for anything else, I'd be very worried. So here are the Dreadnoughts with a field goal attempt, under a minute left. Leslie Adolfo to make the kick.
You see the Cheetahs have brought out some of their offensive linemen.
A lot of noise. Let's see if it affects his nerves. A high kick. And no good, just hooked it to the left.
Blocked by Stu Butcher.
There is a flag on the field. That was that kick. If you watch the replay here, he just hooked it to his left. Hard to even tell on the replay it was a miss. It was. But let's see what that flag is. If it is on the defense, I'm going to try here.
Running into the holder, number 50, defense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So that's running into the holder. Notice they didn't use the word roughing anywhere, so it's not an automatic first down. Probably just going to try this kick again. If he kicks it like last time from 5 yards up, I think it'll go through. Let's see what happens.
Of course, he's a big lad, that number 50. I mean, once he starts to get up ahead of steam, it's like trying to stop the Titanic. It's not the easiest thing to do.
It is, but you got to watch your pursuit angles.
You've got
That's
to.
the big thing. You got to go at an angle where you can follow through without making that hit. Easier said than done. Let's watch Adofu try to make this kick. 2nd attempt for the kick. Also no good. This time wide to the right. Too much of an adjustment there.
Yeah.
Just wide left, overcorrected, wide right. Number 50 is still making his case to the referee just a moment ago.
One thing I've always found, though, don't argue with the refs because they never change their mind.
Well, I've never seen a referee change their mind because someone argued with them, but I will say it's tempting to do. Let's see, with only, our guess is 12 seconds left. With only 12 seconds left in the half, let's see what the Cheetahs do. I think they'll probably run it up the gut here. But you never know. They could fake that run up the gut and throw it for a touchdown again.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Would it be too obvious, though, to try and throw it here?
Make sure that you get involved with us at halftime. We have the hashtag SFC2
Timeout. 12
final.
seconds left in the half.
Hashtag SFC2 final. You tweet us now through halftime. If we find a good one, we can read it during the broadcast. So get involved. Hashtag SFC2, the number 2. Final for this Southern Division II final. What have you thought of the first half so far?
It's kind of what I was expecting. It's been It's been hard. It's been into the ground. It's been good. I've enjoyed watching the Dreadnoughts try and work their way through that defence, and they've done a fantastic job with that last really long drive. It's been great to watch, but the Cheetahs as well, their defence has been something to watch, and their offence as well.
I think there's been a lot of bend but don't break.
Yes, definitely.
There's a ton of yardage in this game, but only 6 total points between both teams, and that was on one, I wouldn't say a broken play, but it was a play where there was no one near the receiver. So you have all this yards, only 6 points. Let's see what happens here. Certainly under 20 seconds. 12 seconds is our best guess here. They have 3 receivers to the top of the screen as the Cheetahs look to see something here at the end of the half. It's a handoff to Adeniji. He cuts it upfield for a gain of about 5. We'll see if they just run out the clock here. Well, look at that exact timing. Well done on our clock man here. I don't know, who's our clock man today? What an excellent job by our clock man here. All right.
I think he deserves a burger for that.
He does. 6-0 at the half. Thank you so much for tuning in here for this Division II Southern Final. We've seen a good showing here by both defenses, but not for a lack of offensive effort or skill. Just a bit of bend but don't break from these defenses.
Yep.
Timely interceptions and fumbles forced throughout the game. The Cheetah safeties showing a great job to keep Portsmouth out of the end zone.
Yep.
And Portsmouth doing a good job to recover from that early touchdown here by the Cheetahs.
Well, I look forward to see what's going to happen in this next half. I think we can find that once you come into the second half, things may all change. We'll see what these coaches say to these players on both the Dreadnoughts and the Cheetah side. I'm really looking forward to this second half and seeing who can truly take it that extra bit further and go for the win. I'm really looking forward to seeing this second half.
Should be a good second half of the game, but for now we're going to take a break for a few minutes as the players cool off at halftime, make some adjustments, and maybe Steve will get us a burger. and welcome back to the second half of this SFC2 final between the Hertfordshire Cheetahs and the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts. A solid first half with a score of 6-0 in favor of Hertfordshire, coming off the back of a long touchdown pass on a fake. It was a fake handoff, wide open receiver there, and that's so far been the only score of the game. It's been as what I would thought it would be. It's been a ground and pound game. That was obviously a very good throw that he threw out there. Obviously paid off really well. I don't think we'll see something like that again in this half. I honestly think that it's going to be ground and pound once again. The offensive line are going to get a good workout on both sides of the ball here. As we said with that touchdown pass to TJ Ajayi, that's something you try early because it might not work later, and they haven't gone back to it yet. Here is the return. Ajayi, one of the two men, but it's actually number 14 who grabs that, gets a bit of a block and runs out to his left, gets another block again, and rumbles his way to the 40-yard line. Some good blocks there for the Cheetahs, but brought down by the Dreadnoughts. Absolutely fantastic there. Some great yardage there on special teams. Frank Mayo, anything but bland on that play. Maybe Frank mayonnaise with some bacon in there. Definitely. That was a spicy play. I once saw that man run it all the way back 97 yards. Did you? I did. Well, there you go. Here he had 40. Put him on a victory sandwich for a game-winning drive, I think. Don't say that now. You're making me hungry. I need some food. Steve did never get us those burgers at halftime. Come on, Steve. That's right. I've got a lovely mummy meal after this. I get to go home, and my girlfriend's mum's doing me a nice dinner. A little bit of insight on me on that one. Hi, Sarah. If you're watching. Withering away. We're going to be tight ends instead of offensive linemen unless Steve gets us some dinner. But anyway, back to the game here. 1st and 10 for the Cheetahs. Bunch, 2 receivers stacked to the bottom, and then a handoff. There he is again, the workhorse back that we've seen throughout the whole game. And again, that snap is still high. I think you need to understand, if a snap is high or low, it cuts off those valuable half a second you have for that runoff. That could mean 1 or 2 extra yards, which could be critical in a game like this. And we've seen quite a few bad snaps by the Cheetahs. Unfortunately, I don't mean to brag on a center. I've played center. I play center. In my opinion, it's one of the more difficult positions on the offensive line to play. Because every single play you have to do something correctly with the ball. Yeah. But in this case, he doesn't need to bring those down. There's a false start. Speaking of offensive line play. False start on not a good start for the Cheetahs.
False start. 75 offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
One of those linemen dodged a bullet because it was definitely a false start on 2 of them.
Definitely.
Occasionally you'll see a ref false start. Everyone.
The whole line. Sorry.
I think I saw a false start and they said it was everyone except one guy.
Aye.
Well, if you play center, you can do that pretty easily.
I've done that before, but that was mostly because it was my fault.
You forget to snap the ball and everyone else looks bad. Well, let's see what they can do here. It is now 2nd and 15 from their own 35-yard line. 1 receiver out to the top of your screen, 2 bunched at the bottom. That snap was so high it went straight to Ajayi, who actually does get some blocking, but is not going to get much here, and he's managed to lose an additional 5 yards.
Props to the Dreadnoughts there, absolutely all over this. They're benefiting from this situation at the moment with the snaps being so high, and fair play to them for it. They're swarming over that ball, getting in the backfield, doing wonders for their team. And I think if you're the Cheetahs here, you might have to do something like I formation, maybe move your quarterback under center for a few snaps to try to get things sorted, and then just take a chance to relax. There's a lot of time left in this game. Yep. The Cheetahs are up by 6 right now. Just don't make a mistake that loses you points, and then get it back on track for the rest of the game. And we can see here on the sideline, they just did about probably 10 or so snaps on the sideline between that center and that QB. Between a center and a QB. I'm not sure if it's... See what happens here on 3rd down. There seems to be a bit of a switch here.
Delay the game. Offense, 5 yards, 3rd down.
Now see, this is not a good start for the Cheetahs.
They're going the wrong way.
They're going the wrong way, and hopefully this is just a little slump that they're in and they'll pull themselves out of. But again, the Dreadnoughts are capitalising on this, and let's really hope when the Dreadnoughts get back on the field with their offense that they really capitalise on this and even up the game. And the Cheetahs are shooting themselves in the foot mostly here. So let's see what they can do on 3rd and long. It's about 3rd and 30. We'll see if they can manage to get any yards out of here. Drops back to pass, gets out a... Good snap. They're going to call that incomplete. That's a good play there. It was bobbled there by Rowan Huggins. He had the ball in his hands for a moment. The defender knocked it out, and they just called it a fumble. So not very auspicious start here for the Cheetahs. hopefully they're going to have a little chat on the sideline, get themselves sorted out. But
Which is a bit ironic. Cheetahs are usually known for starting quickly.
Definitely, and carrying on. But again, props to the Dreadnought defense on that one, swarming all over them and capitalizing on that. Let's see what the offense does.
Here's a very interesting punt formation again. So you look, they have 3 men back, 1 short, 1 medium, and 1 long. I guess that's one way to make sure somebody grabs it. And the deep man gets it back, follows 1 set of blockers, spins his way up, and brings it back to what was the original line of scrimmage about for that original Cheetahs drive. Brings it to the Cheetahs' 41-yard line.
Starting in the Cheetahs' own half on this one. Portsmouth have got a lot going for them on this drive, and it's so important that they do score, and they're in such good position to do that.
This is a great chance to pull back the momentum. They're only down by 6 points. Touchdown and score here brings you ahead.
Yes,
Let's take
definitely.
a chance real quick to point out, first of all, beautiful day here at Leicester Road Football Club. Excited that we can be here at this Leicester Road Stadium. And then also a shout out to BAFA, making it possible for us at Onside Productions to stream this game. Let's go back into the second half. 2 receivers out to the bottom of your screen. A handoff up the middle with a fake pass out to the right, but a sound set of gang tackles. A twisting tackle by 1 defender, and then finishing that with 2 more Cheetahs closing in.
I do just want to make one more mention in the talking about this facility and everything like that. Just want to make a shout out to Guy Kersey, the chairman of the Falcons, for helping, doing all the help he can get to help BAFA and organising this day. He does an absolutely wonderful job for the Falcons.
Shout out to all of them. Love to see a final like this broadcast, and we're happy to be a part of it.
Absolutely fantastic.
Here we are on 2nd and 11. The Portsmouth Dreadnoughts still sticking pretty close to the line of scrimmage with their box players. They got a fullback in set to the left, and a running back who now takes the handoff here, runs up the middle, gets a bit of a block, shifts his way for about a gain of 3 to make it 3rd down and about 9 or maybe 8.
So you're 3rd down and you've still got about 8 yards to go. It's a big ask for the offense here on this one. I mean, now it's time for them to really pull it out of the bag, get around that defense and get themselves another 10 yards, maybe even a touchdown, we don't know, but this is the now time for Portsmouth to turn the momentum in their favour.
Let's give a quick read out to some of these tweets here. Ashley Bellinger says, some great coverage, shout out to the clock guy. Come on, Dreadnoughts. Go, anchor down. Thank you very much for that tweet. Please continue to tweet in. Here we go on 3rd and 9. A bit of a pass rush here. QB has to scramble up to the middle and get sacked for a loss of 4.
That was absolute beautiful work by the edge rush. Once again, we've been singing their praises all day, the edge rush for the defense. Absolutely fantastic.
And I would say a little bit, the defense of the Cheetahs there, bailing out sounds a bit of a strong phrase, but the offense they handed the Dreadnoughts in a bad situation for the Cheetahs.
Yep.
The defense pushed them backwards, and now the offense going to get another try, assuming all goes well for the Cheetahs on this punt. Ajayi back to receive the kick. A low snap, which is fumbled. He's going to have to run it and then rugby-style kick it down the field. And that's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. That's an exciting punt.
It all happened on that one.
That was
didn't it?
almost a lot of things, but then ends up being a touchback. That's I'll say as a coach, I've had players in at punter who they played football as in traditional football, growing up and at higher levels. And when you can have a player who can kick at different angles, it actually comes in quite handy. I've had players kick it completely sideways, and you see there a player who can run and then kick it and still get it 50 yards downfield. That's a big difference, because if you have a less athletic punter or a punter who's not versatile enough, that could have been a loss of 20 yards.
Definitely. There's all those little things that you have in special teams that can really make or break a team's effectiveness during a game.
Let's see if the Cheetahs can put together a drive here. That 3-4 front by the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts creeping up to the line, some of them dropping into coverage, but a big hole clears up on the left side, and an explosive run by Adam.
Who else was it going to be, honestly?
That's
Who
a
else
good
is it
question
going to
at
be?
this point.
But again, nice big hole made up there by the offensive line. Adenji going all the way his way through there, working his way up, 6 yards by the looks of
You can see that hole from here. It was about the width of, well, I'd say big number 51 for the Cheetahs.
I could drive my car through it.
He could have ran through it here. Maybe not for 6 yards, though. Now there seem to be 2 drum lines going on. A bit of Adenji with an explosive run, breaks quite a few tackles and drags the defenders up all the way to the 40-yard line, 41-yard line.
A good work on the Portsmouth defence on that one for finally taking him down. Maybe you got a little bit further than you should have. But again, Adenji, that man, he's working it today. He's getting his money's worth today.
As his former head coach, Coach Giles, would say, he gets skinny. It's all about making yourself thin. We were speaking actually to two of his former coaches at halftime, and they're here to check out the game, Scott Messam and A.D. Giles from N2U. And he's definitely doing what they said there, keeping skinny. And here, Adeniji is yet again going around the right side, getting some blocking, exploding down the field. It's a foot race, and he gets all the way down to the 20.
Beautiful work on the outside there. Absolutely fantastic.
Let's check out this replay here. He's got some explosion off the edge. It is another high snap, but he reads it here, gets just enough blocking, gets around the defensive lineman, cuts up field, and then a bit of a foot race. That's a good job by the defender to bring him down at all. Gets all the way down to the 20. I think Adeniji is going to be the workhorse for the rest of this game.
And you see that wonderful little fake there by Martin Brown. Confused the D lineman into thinking he had the ball, just giving Adeniji that little bit of time just to get that little bit of
Sometimes
extra race.
you just need that little hesitation to get something to open up.
Most definitely, most definitely.
Now there's 3 receivers on the bottom of your screen, 1 close to the line of scrimmage. Another high snap. He's just going to have to fall on this one. Oh, and it's a fumble. And Portsmouth has gotten it. So that's not only a 20-yard loss, but it is a fumble.
So just as soon as the Cheetahs started getting to their stride, once again, another snap has brought them down. It's an absolute horrible thing to see, and I really hope that Stuart Butcher, that centre, I really hope he's doing all right.
Easy come, easy go, I suppose, with the yards there. They're going to have to make some adjustments along these snaps.
Get your head up there, number 50,
I
mate.
say you might just
right.
have to go into under center for the rest of this game.
Definitely.
You're running it so well with Adeniji. I think he's a running back who you can run from under center from a quarterback.
Definitely.
And you might just need to start looking at making those adjustments.
So again, Portsmouth in the same situation. They've been given a chance. It's now their chance to equalise this and potentially take the lead.
2 receivers at the bottom of your screen. Drops back the pass, gives it a shoulder fake. QB draw, but it is a sack.
It's that man again. It's Andy Dickens, the man I call Menace. He is a scary man, and that's the second I've seen him break through that line, and he's a hard man to stop. He is a very hard man to stop.
At this point, Reese seems to be struggling to get the ball downfield. We saw in the first half he had a lot more success.
He did.
Throwing it to the flat, throwing it for these little receiver screens, and then them getting the yards after catch for 5 to 10 yards. So far, we've seen him get sacked, hit, and make incompletions as he's dropped back the pass. Let's see if he can either turn that around or maybe simplify the playbook back to what happened successfully in the first half. And he does have 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen, which to me sets up perfectly for some sort of short pass. Let's see what he does. That is a pitch out to the right, tries to get some blocking.
And there's
but
Cheetahs everywhere. Cheetahs everywhere, all over him.
I'm not sure where his blocking went on that play. If you check out this replay, he had 3 receivers go to block, and I don't think any of them made it. So
none of them made their blocks
for
on
the
that
offense there, you're going to lose another 10 yards on that.
It's fantastic coverage by the Cheetahs on that
I
one.
like
Absolutely
the concept
beautiful.
there. Trying to go simple, trying to get some blocks and get yak. But if you can't make the blocks, that's not something you can do. Third and about 30, maybe 25. Yeah, 25. Drops back the pass, rolls out to his left, throws it downfield, and it's straight to a defender, and he's going to run it back for 30, 10, to the 5, touchdown.
Good work, touchdown Cheetahs.
What a play, what an interception by Jordan Legg. Quarterback rolled out to his left, and again, just throw it away.
Yeah.
Don't give him that opportunity. A low-scoring game like this, what a game-changing play by Legg. Brings it back for the pick 6.
Fair play for the Cheetahs on that one. Portsmouth, it's okay. There's still plenty of games to go for them to bring it back.
In that case by Reese, you're on the run to your left. You're a right-handed quarterback. You just need to throw it away and get it out of bounds.
There was nothing but gold on that side, nothing but gold.
Let's see if the Cheetahs are going to go for 2 here.
Quarterbacks on the field, I reckon they are.
Looks like they might be short a player or short a play.
They look confused.
They're going to look at a timeout for the Cheetahs here.
Been quite a bit of this with the Cheetahs. A lot of.
I guess I can't blame the offense for not having a play, considering they weren't planning on being on the field. For a
Timeout,
few more
Hertfordshire.
plays.
6 minutes, 4 seconds left in the quarter.
Probably running around, saying, "Hey, who's out here? What's the play?
What's going on? Where are we?
We
What
were
are we doing?"
expecting a punt 2 plays later. Now we got to do this 2-point conversion." Let's see if they do something under center and give them a chance to just calm down for these snaps.
It would be incredibly wise not to have a shotgun
We always
snap
want
here.
a high level of play in all these games we watch, and that's a mistake, but it's something that you can work around and try to calm down.
Yes.
Same with the Dreadnoughts here. They're only down by 2 scores. There's a bunch of game time left. 3 receivers to the top of the screen, 1 in single coverage down at the bottom. It is a snap here. It's a much better snap, and it's a play action here to 83.
Oh, no good.
Almost got it.
No
He
good
was
at all.
double covered.
Good effort there by the receiver, but the defensive back's all over him on that one. That's a really good play there by the Dreadnoughts.
That's a good design by the defense there. So it's a great chance for those defenders to sneak out from the linebacker spot and make a play. Let's read off some more of your tweets. Josie Balch says, "So great to be able to live stream to the Dreadnoughts' final game against the Cheetahs." Well, she didn't say Cheetahs, but she said Cheaters. That's her words, not mine. "Bring it home, boys." And then hashtag all those there. Twim Owen says, "Poor high snaps to one of the most frustrating things about Brit ball. I don't understand why so many run-dominated teams persist with the shotgun when it's beyond their skill level." Harsh words, but I do think you might want to look at going under center for the rest of this game if you're the Cheetahs. Adrian Stemp says, "Watching from Spain."
Oh, is
Hi
it
there,
nice
Adrian
out there,
from
is it?
Spain, or at least in Spain. This is Cheetahs final. Thank you for tweeting in. Please continue to do so. A deep kick to the 10-yard line, a little bit of blocking to his right, and rumbling his way to the 30-yard line.
And let's talk a little bit about special teams here. This is something that really has been very productive on both sides. You know, they've been swarming the ball, and stuff like that. It's been absolutely fantastic watching special teams today.
I agree. Having seen here at warm-ups and everything earlier this game, I was very impressed by the kicking games. This isn't meant to be a personal attack to anyone, but Brit ball does occasionally struggle with kicking. I think that's fair to say.
Yes. In a nation that's known for soccer.
It is a bit odd. I know the forms are different before people tweet in. I understand where your knee is versus the ball is different. I understand. That being said, kicking is a struggle in Brit ball, so it's been great to see kickoffs near the end zone, deep punts, all sorts of versatility, and good coverage as well. Cheetahs defense trying to get some noise here to put a nail in the coffin of this Dreadnought offense. 4 men along the line, a short pass out there, and a swift tackle by number 3 of the Cheetahs. That's an excellent tackle by Jason Scurfield. Shut that down immediately.
I think that was right where he needed to be again. This defense, both defenses appear to be right where they need to be at the moment. Obviously, disregarding that last drive for the Dreadnoughts, but the Cheetahs defense, you've got that big line up front, but those linebackers and especially those DBs are just absolutely phenomenal.
Well, you know what, Nev? That might be why they aren't doing those short passes anymore, because that didn't work at all.
No.
3 receivers to the top of the screen, 1 bunch close to the line of scrimmage. Running back out in motion behind the line. Quarterback drops back, and he's going to run upfield for a QB draw. Gains 5, gains 10, gains 15, and pushes away to 20 yards.
We haven't seen much of that from the running back today.
There is a flag. Let's see if that's a late hit as well. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Reads that blocking really well. Gets upfield, brings that ball a bit high and tight, which is good, better than running it like it's a loaf of bread. And he manages to get to the 50-yard line. Great to see a quarterback
Personal
run with the ball
foul, late
so
hit
close
out of
to his
bounds,
chest.
number 63,
Very, very
goal.
much. We haven't seen much
15-yard
of that
penalty
from
from the
him
end of the
today,
run,
but that was
automatic first down.
So there's the ref there giving us the flag. It was, I believe, a late hit. So that's another 15 yards for the Dreadnoughts. Sorry, Nev, go ahead.
I spoke through all that. I do apologise. I'm new to this. But yeah, good seeing him run like that. Obviously, he hasn't had much success when it comes to running outside the pocket, but it has been absolutely fantastic watching him see just
I
like
think
that.
sorry, hold on one second here. Stu Reese has these long strides. He's got long legs. I think he can get up to speed pretty quickly on these draws. They might need to look back at doing that a few more times. Here's that receiver on the wheel route. Leads him right his head, gains about 3 yards. Oh, no, he broke right through the tackle and pushes it up to about a gain of 8.
The side of that field was very bare of Cheetahs. The defense was not very prominent on that side of the line.
It's like an open savannah out there.
It definitely was. It definitely was until they came charging in and ruined their day.
I've seen this throughout the game. The running back rolls out to his left. He looks like he's either going to do a quick out to the flat or do the wheel. I wouldn't be surprised if they go out, 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 and then as soon as that linebacker bites, they go to a wheel.
Yeah, definitely. Work their way out to the edge.
A handoff just to the left side of the field and some blocking, and he got Skinny very well. There are 2 flags thrown, I believe, for the same penalty.
Okay, I promise I won't talk through this bit. I promise.
Based on where that flag is, could be anything. Let's see what the ref says.
Holding. 66 offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's going to take back some of their momentum, but it's still only second down, and they're just around the 30-yard line.
It's all about how they want to deal with this. I mean, a penalty is a penalty. You can't argue with the refs. You can't have it changed. It happens. You just next play. Take the next play, and then just try to make something happen. Don't worry about what the last play. Worry about what happens next.
Offensive line walking up there. A group of 3 receivers on the short side of the field. They're all pretty close. Let's go ahead and see what happens here. Reese drops back, rolls out to his right, trying to outrun the defender, throws it downfield. A brilliant pass defense by the Cheetahs. Jordan Legg.
Fantastic work once again by the Cheetahs, but some good work there by the QB, rolling out and making sure that he extended the play as much as possible on that one. But once again, that man again, that menace, number Andy Dickens, breaking through the line and chasing down that quarterback.
Do go ahead and watch this replay here. This could have very easily been a touchdown if it wasn't for Legg there by the Cheetahs. It was a bit underthrown. The receiver had to step on him, but I think it could have gotten there if it wasn't for the diving one-handed pass defense by Legg. What a great play.
Fantastic work.
Man in motion from top to bottom of the screen. Drops back to passes Reese. Lots of protection. Rolls out to his right. Looks down to a player there. Number 84 makes the grab. He's definitely got the first down. Let's see what else he can get.
That's good work there by the receiver, working his way out to the side.
Kieran Bellinger makes a great play there. Just finds the hole in the defense. So that quarterback bought some time. Reese gets it up there. Finds the hole in the defense. You can see him between, there's about 4 defenders around him, but none that close. So that shows he found a nice gap there after he made a defender
Good work
miss.
on the defenders on that one, boxing him in, stopping him from getting those yardage. And once again, the QB rolling out and extending that play. But some good blocking again by the O-line for the Dreadnoughts.
And that's a smarter one to do. When you roll out, look for it. If he's there, throw it. If not, just get rid of it. He's done a much better job being heads up with the ball this play. Reese looking to get a touchdown here for the Dreadnoughts. A run up the middle, gets some great blocking, pushes ahead for about 5 yards on first down.
And again, that's what you need. You need to chip away those yardage, get those 5 yards, get those 4 yards. Work your way into the defense.
A great little right to left step by Ben Myers there to get it up inside the tackles, or right behind the guard, really.
Ben Myers actually a former Cheetah, believe it or not.
Well, there you go.
I remember.
Is it the same Ben Myers?
Yes, I believe so.
Well, you never know. Here we go on second and about 7 from the 12-yard line of the Hertfordshire Cheetahs. Bunched up close to the box are Portsmouth. Everyone inside from the right tackle or right tight end spot, bunched in close. Tries to drive it up the field and gets nothing.
Wrapped up again by the D-line. That's good work there by the D-line once again.
As we said earlier, running up the middle, not a great plan. In that case, there's just too many guys in the box.
There is too many guys. When you've got 4 down linemen, maybe not the wisest, unless you can have offensive linemen that can blow those boys off the ball.
And even then, with that many linebackers in the holes, you still might not gain anything. You might do that to gain a yard or 2 up the middle if you trust your O-line. I'm not sure if you're ever going to get 5 or 6.
No, because once again, we're seeing the D-line penetrate that O-line and just get their hands on the running back.
Trying to spread out the defense this time. The Dreadnoughts, if you look at the top of your screen, that linebacker's going to have to cover some ground. Motioning from top to bottom is number 84. A fake toss to the right and then a handoff to the fullback. running up the middle and trucking his way down to the 1 yard line.
That was an absolutely fantastic run there.
What a great play design.
That was fantastic. I like that. With the big man reversing it and going straight up the middle again. Oh, well, that takes our little discussion about going up the middle. Not a wise idea.
Well, there you go. Well, it's a wise idea when you have results like that and you trick some of the defense away. You get a fake toss. People think it could have been going to 2 different guys to the right. It's almost a triple option, really.
Yeah.
You got a man in motion that you could have handed it off for toss to. A running back to the right you could have tossed it to. But you tuck it inside to your fullback to get it inside to the 1 yard line. Now the long, happy march for the Dreadnoughts because they're ready to try to punch it in from the 1.
I think again, now it's getting critical. Now it's time for Portsmouth. Get it in there and then get the defense off the field as soon as possible.
Well, now's when we see if that running up the middle is a good plan or not.
Oh, definitely. Now's the time for those short gain yardage. Get that big man in there and get it right up the gut. Keep those feet moving. Always keep those feet moving.
Great display of Britball here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. You know, it's not one of those games where it's a blowout. It's 2 teams both working really hard, and I like what I'm seeing here.
You got offense, defense, and special teams players around.
Yeah, definitely.
It's great to see.
It's fantastic to see.
Not to mention, it's absolutely gorgeous outside. It's probably one of the nicest days of the year today.
I would say, yeah, most definitely.
We got some great music here going on. I don't know if we can sing much more. We'll get a copyright strike.
These people don't want to hear me sing. I'm sorry, the internet. I do apologize.
So you got the Dreadnoughts here. Correction, I don't think it's the 1. I think it's about the 2. We'll see the exact spot.
It's still very close, and it's going to be...
It's not far if it's anything.
It's so critical now that the offensive line gets off that ball and gets through that defensive line, making room for that running back or whoever else.
Let's see what formation they go to here.
Yeah, definitely. They could throw it. This could be interesting.
Well, they're at least going to start out with quite a few guys in the box. Nobody more than 1.5 feet from their teammate when it comes to them being on the line. A run right up the middle. Maybe a yard. I think he about split the difference on where they were to where the goal line is. They look like they're about 1 foot or 2 from the goal line now.
It's now very close. Can they do it again and just get those extra inches in?
Now that is Perkis again. They're trusting him to run up the middle. Let's see what they do here on 2nd down. I wouldn't be shocked if one of the next 2 plays was one of these misdirection plays.
Yes. Look, you're looking at that D-line. You're looking at the big guy there, number 91, Josh Hawkins. It's not, he's put there for this specific reason, to stop runs up the guts getting over that goal line.
Split back here, runs up the middle, pushes through, and it is a touchdown. Touchdown by the Dreadnoughts. Charged his head down there, got a ball right up the gut of that defense. The Cheetahs have done a good job all day, but they couldn't stop them there.
It's just as we said, it's grinding down that defense and getting those extra yards. Sometimes you just can't stop those big guys from fighting through and getting that extra yards. It was all that was needed, and the Portsmouth did a wonderful job of getting through.
I think they got about exactly the foot or 2 that they needed. And you know what? At 6 points, whether you go through the front of the end zone or you score and run out the back. Here's that run up the middle. Let's watch the replay here. He just tucks his head in there and manages to push it in and just fall the correct way. I know that this sounds like an odd compliment, but falling the correct way is actually a big skill at the quarterback position for these sneaks.
It's a yard. It's a yard. It's a positive yardage.
There's an attempted point after touchdown here. A high snap, but he manages to get it down. And a great kick. Splits the uprights.
Good kick there. Very good kick from Portsmouth.
Dare I say, one of the better point after touchdowns I've seen in a while.
What, because it went through?
Certainly the best one today.
Definitely the one today.
So here we are in the 4th quarter. Back to tweets. Bruin White says, watching from, can you pronounce that for me?
That's Basingstoke.
Thank you. I have to check with these things. Come on, Portsmouth. Hashtag SFC2 final. Jess Edgecombe says, hey, put me on the screen for the Dreadfordshire Cheetahs. Nice work on the stream. There are 2 emojis that I can't see. Come on, Dreads, get it together. Craig White says, come on, Dreadnoughts, loving the stream. Hashtag anchor down. Great to see a team with their own hashtag. Please do keep tweeting in at hashtag SFC2 final. So get right on the screen. You can share emojis, but I can't see them on the screen. Maybe stick to emoticons.
Emoticon. That's before my time, I think.
It's just, I mean, come on, it's just punctuation. Am I that old? Here's a high kickoff to about the 5-yard line of the Cheetahs. There's Ajayi to bring it back. See if he can get some blocking here. He bursts through the left side, and he's got all the blocks that he needs to get to the 45. There is a flag on the play. He gets to the 50. There seemed to be a bit of extracurricular activities going on. Let's see if this is a flag for a hold or maybe a little something more sinister.
Something you don't need now, certainly don't need now, especially this stage of the game where it's critical that Portsmouth get another touchdown.
That being said, they were so close or so far down the field, even a 15-yard penalty would still keep you around the 30.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and watch this replay here. A good wedge.
During the return, personal foul, illegal hands to the face. Number 25 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty will be tacked on to the end of Hertfordshire's run. First down.
Not good at all for Portsmouth, not good at all.
If you watch here at the bottom of the screen, you see number 25 put his hands on the head of the defender. The defender and him got into a bit of a scuffle, and they threw the flag for those hands to the face. One of the most frustrating things on that, gained him nothing.
No, nothing
The Dreadnoughts
at
get a flag there that loses them 15 yards right after they score a touchdown. Now the Cheetahs only have to go 30 yards to score, and that hands to the face had nothing to do with the play that was on the field. I'm sure he'll be kicking himself for that one, and his coach probably will have some not-so-kind words. Adeniji runs it up, skipping through defenders, gets a run of about 20 yards on that first down.
He's working his way through the D-line all day. They can't keep their hands on him. He's just a slippery so-and-so. Fair play to him.
Watch this here. You just see a little bit of wiggle, a little bit to the left, cuts back to the right, and then he cuts back to the right again. You see just manages to make these defenders miss. If this was flag football, he'd be down every time.
Definitely.
But this ain't flag football. If you get him by the hips, he's running down the field.
Exactly. You don't take their legs out, they're not going to stop.
Exactly right. Here we are with two receivers at the bottom of your screen. Much better snap and a pitch out to Adeniji. Tries to find some blockers, gets a bit of a seam around the edge. Trucks his way up for a gain of about 4 or 5 yards.
Good read there by the Dreadnoughts. All over him on that one, but still some good positive yardage there by Adeniji.
And if you can see on the replay or when you watch this back here, Adeniji does a really good job of trying to follow his blockers. He looks for one hole. It's not quite there because the linebacker fills the gap, so he continues to go around and gets that edge. If you're a young running back trying to study, especially if you're transitioning from a sport, say, hey, look, I played rugby, I played another sport, I'm athletic, but I'm not used to blocking. Yeah. That's how you read a block right there. Another high snap, but manages to reel it in. Adeniji bouncing in from left to right for a gain of about 2.
Runs straight into the D-line there.
Again, as we get closer and closer, those snaps seem to get higher and higher. If I'm the Cheetahs, I go under center here. I just don't risk it. You at least can get a field goal here and make it a 2-score game.
Yeah.
Or a 1-score and a 2-point conversion.
I mean, a score here will do wonders for the Cheetahs, seeing them
Third
run
and about
the
3.
clock
I'd
out.
say run it to the left. Try to gain 2 yards if you don't kick a field goal. You've seen too many mistakes at this part of the field, but let's see if they can exercise those demons. Adeniji does run to the left, and he trucks his way ahead for a first down.
And he's very close. And now we're down at the end zone here. We're yards away. Do you think you can maybe guarantee a touchdown, or do you think Portsmouth can really pull it out?
You can't guarantee anything in this sport, mate.
No, definitely not.
Here's a substitution I like to see, just because I haven't managed to highlight him, because they haven't punted much all day. Luke Neal, number 9, jogging in for the Cheetahs there now in the huddle. I know he's a good punter. I saw him in warm-ups. Let's see how he is as a tight end. Adeniji behind the quarterback of the Cheetahs, Brown. Another high snap, hands it off to Adeniji, who jukes his way up and gets a touchdown.
With all the yardage Adam Adeniji's been getting today, it really felt like that was written in the stars.
That's a great little step by him, following his blocking. Go ahead and watch this replay. Watch Adeniji here get the handoff. Martin Brown takes the snap, it's high, and he starts out left, makes it right, and then actually does almost a bit of a gallop step to finish that run into the end zone, making sure that he has ball security as well. Here they are going for 2. It's a fake handoff to Adeniji, rolling out to his left.
Oh, and there's a
That
good try by the
was
receiver.
open, but that's hard when you're rolling out to your left.
Yeah. Not very good protection there from the O-line, but at the end of the day, they've made those lanes possible for Ajayi, and getting downfield and blocking. It's all working for the Cheetahs at the moment.
You've seen that twice now, where you had quarterbacks rolling out to the left and struggled to get it where they needed to. One case ending up in a pick for the Dreadnoughts, and one case ending up here for a failed 2-point conversion. That's a really hard, because you can't be running left unless you have to flip your hips and get it out, or throw it while you're running one way. Very difficult throw to make.
Definitely. So here we go. This is do or die for Portsmouth now. We're 10 minutes in, just under 11 minutes. And it's honestly now time for them to knuckle under and really bring something out here.
I think what we're going to see, I got a feeling, I think the Cheetahs are going to start, they're going to have a big play here in the next few plays. I just got an itch, see what happens. A deep kickoff covered by the Dreadnoughts, runs upfield to the left, gets some blocking here. And a solid tackle to bring down the returner at the 35-yard line.
So here come the Portsmouth offense. Would you say this is a very important drive for them? This is going to be, this is do or die for Portsmouth, or do you really think they can make something of this?
Well, I certainly wouldn't want to count anyone out until the final whistle blows.
Aye.
But I'll put it this way. With the way the Cheetahs are moving the ball on the ground with Adeniji, if you don't score at least a field goal here, you're really going to start getting out of reach, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's still over 10 minutes left in this game. So what they need to do, I think, is get a few solid plays on the ground, extend this drive a bit, get a little bit of momentum.
Yep.
We've seen Reese use his legs. Let's see if he can take advantage of the Cheetahs defense here. Man in motion across from the bottom of your screen to the top. A fake pitch and a handoff to the fullback. That's the same play that we saw a touchdown, or almost a touchdown on earlier, but this time it only gains about 3 yards.
So all yardage is positive yardage, and it works. At this time of the game where the defense have settled in their ways and have seen what the Portsmouth have been throwing out, now's a very good time to bring in those fakes and try and catch them off guard, because the defense are biting. But let's just see how quickly the Hertfordshire defense.
You can tell that the Dreadnoughts trust Evers here.
Yeah, definitely.
They've gone to him all game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a pass thrown his way in the next few plays. A toss out to the right. Running back cuts inside the edge defender and twists his way up for a gain of about 2 yards. That's a good job there by number 21, Ben Myers. Or Mayers. Well, that's what you were talking about right there. The defense went too far upfield. He cut back inside, gained a nice little chunk of yards.
Yep. I think this is where Portsmouth will have to take this now. Take them biting now. It's their best chance of getting up that field and getting into the end zone now.
As you get to this point in the game, around 10 minutes left, most of the plays that you see in the playbook, the bread and butter plays, have already been executed multiple times. So it's all about finding what works and what doesn't. Here's Reese back to pass, rolls out to his right. He looked to throw deep, but it's far too short. The receiver had to turn him into a bit of a defensive back there.
There was nothing wise to do there but bat it down. Yeah,
the ball
did be all over him.
The ball went 30 yards down the field there, but it took just a bit too long to get there to make a strike.
So we have some cheated players coming off and getting ready, and the Dreadnoughts are getting ready to punt here.
Wow, that number 91's a unit. He's standing head and shoulders above everybody else on that team.
Josh Hawkins, he's a big chap. He's taller than me. He's very
not
big.
Small. Here's a punt with that unorthodox punt returning formation. A brilliant punt, high-flying punt. Caught by the Cheetahs, looks for some blocks, manages to get around the edge, and that's an attempted tackle there, manages to spin his way out of it. It's now bringing 3, 4, 5 players to bring him down. But there is a flag on the play. Let's see if one of those defenders got a little too handsy on the tackle there.
So important for the defence to gang tackle, especially someone like that returner there. It's very important that they get all over him.
You never know who's going to miss. That's one broke tackle, 2, 3.
During the return,
4,
personal foul,
5 people.
face mask, 52 on the kicking team, 15 yards tacked onto the end of the run, first down.
And what an effort by the defender. Forces 5 people to have to take him down, and one of those people had to face mask him to bring him there.
Exactly.
Great job. Well, now fatigue starts setting in. Let's see.
Now it would be very wise for the Cheetahs just to run the ball, chew the clock, and get out of here.
I have good news for you, Nev. I think
What's
that's
that,
what
Sean?
they're going to do.
Yeah, you think?
Why would you stop feeding it to Adeniji now? He jumps from the left side of the quarterback to the right. A handoff to Adeniji, breaks a tackle, gets to the left side, trying to find the edge. Manages to push his way ahead for 2 or 3 yards.
It's bread and butter when it comes to football. You're ahead by 3. You're ahead by 2 scores in the fourth quarter. Now it's time just chew that clock. Give the offense as little time as possible to get out here and score. And with every second that goes by, I'm ashamed to say that Portsmouth hopes here is dwindling, which is a shame because I think they've played really well today, and I really hope that they come out on their next drive and really do something magical.
Agreed here. We always like to see a finale here. It's an 11-point game right now. Let's see what happens with the Cheetahs on the attack. A high snap here. Adeniji takes the ball. Tackled by 1. Makes him miss. 2, 3, 4, 5 Dreadnoughts to bring him down.
It's very important with someone like Adeniji. You've got to take his legs. You cannot get him around the waist or around the shoulders because, as he's shown all day, he will just wiggle out of it. He will just wiggle out. You've got to take his legs.
His hips and his waist aren't in the same place for very long. If you look at him here, he's rotating left, rotating right.
I bet he's a fantastic dancer.
He probably is.
I bet he's a fantastic dancer.
I bet he is. Is there, well, get him on Strictly Come Dancing. Is he a big enough celebrity if he gets the MVP here?
Maybe.
Well, I don't know. Let's see what happens. 3 receivers out to the top. A handoff to Adeniji. No, it's a fake and a deep pass. That might be picked. It is intercepted by the Dreadnoughts. He's going to get some blocking. Running down the field.
That's a good block by 39.
Block by number 39. And a strict return. That's a legal block, but it's a very hard hit. And that Cheetah is going to be down.
Oh, coach on the field now.
There seems to be a fight on the field.
A coach has walked on the field. You don't want to say that.
Let's watch the replay
That's not
here.
necessary.
Why don't you walk us through this, Nev?
So he's rolled out and he's thrown. But the defenders are well ahead of him on that one.
Let's go
and
and
that's
watch
an
these
easy
blockers,
pick.
yeah.
But watch this block coming on the outside. Bang. It's a painful hit, and the player is still down.
You saw that block now for the second time.
Yeah.
What would you say about that hit?
You've got to keep your head on a swivel. You really do, especially if you're on the team trying to stop the interception. You've got to keep alert. I've had hits like that. You've got to keep so alert on something like that. I mean,
obviously, we hope for nothing but help
we
for this
really
Cheetahs
hope
player on the ground. As a word of warning, if you are in that situation, and interceptions are one of the most likely plays. Interceptions, block kicks, unexpected plays, those are the types of plays these happen on. You hate to see it.
Yeah.
We wish him the best in the world, and hopefully the medical staff can take care of him.
Really hope he's all right.
Let's
fair play to the Portsmouth player that did it to him, walking up and making sure he's all right. Good sportsmanship it's free, but it's good. Honestly, respect for him for doing that, and I really hope that Cheetah player can walk away from this. I really do.
I agree. Let's go ahead and read some tweets here while we wait for news on the player. Staffordshire Surge, watching the SFC2 final. A great defensive game from both teams. Good advert for Britball so far. I agree. Definitely a good advertisement of the game.
Wow, that's a lot of emojis.
Come on, Portsmouth Dreadnoughts. Square, 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 square. Hashtag SFC2 final. My producer says those emojis are indeed American footballs. Now we see number 11 for the Cheetahs getting off the field. I'm happy to see Ben Weeks walking around. Hopefully he can be all right. They'll get his helmet off here and do some checks. I've spoke to the medical staff here that's covering this game here before. They're a great team. They do a really good job taking care of you guys at the Falcons. They are here again today.
I got injured during the season against Coventry, and they did a wonderful job of picking me up and getting me off the field and looking after me.
And I am sure they're taking him through all the necessary protocol to make sure he's all right.
Very professional team.
Let's see what the Dreadnoughts can do here on offense. Reese in at quarterback, takes the snap, drops back, and he's got all the time in the world. Throws it downfield, but there is a cheetah in the area. Back-to-back interceptions, this time by the Cheetahs.
That's Ben Brown again. That's that man again. That's his third interception, I believe.
It's a great play by Ben Brown. I had a lot of time there for Reese. Managed to get it up, but just does not quite get the accuracy to get it to where he needed it to.
So again, the Cheetah offense can't back out on the field. Again, chew the clock, get as much time off as it is. We got just under 7 minutes left in this game, and well, I really hope Portsmouth can pull something out here. I really do. I'm loving watching them play. I'm love watching their defense work. But let's see what the Cheetahs do here. The Cheetahs have been dominant a lot of this game.
I'd imagine if you're the Dreadnoughts, you have to pin your ears back a bit here and try to make something happen, right?
Definitely, most definitely. Drown out the noise, drown out everything. It's a 0-0 game. It's, make something happen here.
Just under 7 minutes here for the Cheetahs and Dreadnoughts in this Southern Division II final. 3 men with their hands in the dirt, 3 linebackers, one of which is up close on the line. A run up the middle by the Cheetahs. Just about a gain of 1. New running back in there. You think Adeniji might be getting a bit of a break here, or giving him maybe a chance to another player?
I think he deserves it. I think he deserves a breather.
You have to wonder if the Dreadnoughts defense is going to start getting winded here. They've been on the field a lot this game, trying to stop these runs.
Yeah.
And running plays means that every player is pursuing, which is exactly what you should do on defense, but it means a lot more running for everybody on the pitch. Run up the middle there, just trying to truck with his shoulders for a gain of about 2 or 3 is the new Cheetahs running back, Matt Lake.
So now it's just that time for the Cheetahs, just chew the clock. But we're definitely going to see the Portsmouth offense back on the field again. And we've got to see them do something pretty special to work it out. We've seen some really wonderful stuff from Portsmouth today. We really have. Maybe not so consistently, but I really feel that maybe they can do something special. Maybe they've got something in their bag of tricks.
We'll see what they can do here, and as you may have noticed, Adeniji is back on the field as a running back. Let's see if they go to him or use him as a decoy. They fake it to Adeniji, get a pass there, get some receiver blocking. That block fell through, and the defender did a great job fighting through the back. Great job by the corner of Portsmouth there.
Fantastic work, absolutely fantastic work by the Portsmouth defence, who have worked exceptionally hard today as the Portsmouth defence. This has been a very defensive, strong game for both of them, and I really think props to both the Cheetahs and the Dreadnoughts defences here.
We'll see what happens here on this punt return here, showing quite a bit of respect to this punter. As I have highlighted him throughout the game, I think he's doing... I think he's going to have the opportunity here to boot it quite deep. Let's see what happens on this 4th down from their own territory, punting from his own 2-yard line.
The punter, incidentally, is Luke
Great
Neal, I
snap,
believe.
a sky-high punt, but it's a bit of a right over left spiral. It was a high punt. From this perspective in the camera, it might be a bit hard to see. That went out of bounds much earlier than when it landed. So not a great punt.
By the looks of things, the Dreadnoughts will be starting in Cheetahs territory.
About the 32-yard line here for the Dreadnoughts. Well, what do you do on offense here? You've tried going out to the flats, and now that's being shut down. You've tried going deep, and it's resulted in 2 picks. So where do you go? Who do you go to in this last few minutes?
If I say anything now, it's stay out of the air. Stay out of the air. The QB, he's tried to extended plays, and sometimes it's worked, but a lot of the time he gets flustered, he gets worried when he's being pursued by a defensive lineman, and he just throws it away.
And if you're the Cheetahs, I wouldn't stop attacking.
No, keep that foot on the pedal, keep going.
You're forcing these mistakes, try to keep forcing them if you're Hertfordshire. And here they are with 5 men along the defensive line. Pinning their heels back, a ton of pressure on that quarterback who gets walloped. And it's another pick by the Cheetahs, though.
It's that man again. It's Ben Brown.
For a moment, I thought there was a flag, but I actually think that was just the referee spotting where the ball was. Brilliant pressure there by the Cheetahs. They put 5. Oh, there is a flag. There was 5 on the line. I don't know if they'll call. Well, let's see what they call. I don't even want to guess. Let's watch the play here. Brilliant pursuit there.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 66. That penalty will be declined. The result of the play is an interception and first down for...
No surprise on the decline there. Great pick by the defender.
Seems that the clock's running down and time's really running out for Portsmouth here. That was another silly interception that shouldn't have happened.
We'll see what happens. I think when you get in this point, you've had an offense. I haven't seen Portsmouth throughout the year. I have to assume you had an offense throughout the year that you knew worked, that got you here to the finals.
Yes.
When you're under 5 minutes, 10 minutes left, you're down by 2 scores, maybe you have to try something that's a bit new.
Yeah.
That's when all teams are going to struggle.
Yeah.
The reason you got here is because you did what you were good at. When you have to try doing something else, that's when you see these mistakes.
Yes.
I have to assume we're going to see a bit more running out the clock here by the Cheetahs, but we'll see if they take any shots down the field. A fake to Adeniji, a fake shot to the right, and then, oh, here it is, the same play that led to a touchdown. Here is Ajayi sprinting down the field. It is a foot race. He's down to the 20, down to the 15.
Has he still got the ball?
That's the same exact play that we saw earlier, lead for a touchdown. It's a fake to the running back, up the middle, and this time he showed a pump fake to his right and then down the field to his left. Is slightly behind the receiver, good adjustment by Ajayi, and he goes ahead and runs down the field for about a 60 to 70 yard connection running catch.
Good to see there, see Martin Brown there. The pocket held up, the O-line did their job, and make it there so Martin Brown could check through his options and get that ball deep downfield. I mean, that was a bomb going all the way downfield. Absolutely beautiful. And then a great run afterwards by TJ. But again, good pursuit by the Dreadnoughts to bring him down and stop that touchdown.
Completely agree. Let's see what the Cheetahs can do here. Adeniji starts up the middle, bounces out to the left, tries to get the seam, trucks over a defender, still pushing through. The ball came out, but not until he was out of bounds. He's got that for the first down to about the 1.
So Cheetahs once again are knocking on the door. They say we could possibly see another touchdown here. Could this possibly be the nail in the coffin here?
I absolutely think so. You have to make a play here if you're the Dreadnoughts.
Definitely. It's going to be a big stop here for the defense. I mean, hopefully they've got it in them. Let's see if they can stop them here. But with Ajayi, we'll just have to see what happens.
The Cheetahs with one receiver down at the bottom. Bunched on the left side of the line are a tight end and a receiver. Adeniji gets the fake. They're throwing the fade route to 86. Makes a brilliant adjustment. And what a catch.
That's a wondrous catch by the Cheetahs. Absolutely fantastic. And there you have it. 24-7 in favor of the Cheetahs. Still 3 minutes and 3 seconds left to go. But this may be the end of it.
Let's highlight Rowan Huggins there. That's a fade route out to the right side. You see him in single coverage in the red zone. You know that defender knows who he's trying to cover. There's no zones or any shifts. It's just mano-a-mano. He boxes out the defender, and you can see it's not like 18's not trying. He's got his hand in there trying to force it out, and Huggins just does a great job holding on to it. It's actually, look at that. The defender just keeps his hand on the ball the entire time. Meanwhile, the Hertfordshire Cheetahs have missed the 2-point conversion, but it's now 24-7 with 3 minutes left.
So would you say this next drive for Portsmouth is a consolation drive? Hopefully get a touchdown in there for pride.
Well, there's quite a few Cheetahs fans that made the trip up here. How far is Hertfordshire from here?
About an hour and a half drive. It's 100,
I mean, that's not an
miles.
absurd commute, but you know what? It's a much longer commute than some people would do. So let's give a kudos out to some of the fans and some of the support team here. Obviously, the Dreadnoughts could come back, but let's take a couple minutes to talk about the Cheetahs in this club. They've already earned a promotion to Division I, which is obviously a major accomplishment, and then they managed to close it out here. A high kick to the 5-yard line of the Dreadnoughts with a bit of a return, looks for a seam to the right, jukes his way up to the left, breaks one tackle, manages to spin around, dragging defenders up, and he gets to the 45-yard line. A solid return.
It's a solid return. We've seen a lot of that today from both sides on special teams. I'd say props to Dreadnoughts once again for fantastic blocking upfield, an absolutely wonderful catch and a good return there. But we're now coming up on a 2-minute warning. Now,
We're
this may be
that
all now for pride for Portsmouth. Go down swinging.
Well, they haven't shown any lack of fight so far, so I wouldn't expect them to start now.
No, they haven't. I reckon they're going to go right down to the final whistle here.
I'd give it to some of your trusted players who've worked hard all year. Feed the rock to the players that you trust and that have earned their spot here in this final. Bit of a low snap, throws it out to his right, and that is
Cheetahs all over him.
Destroyed by the Cheetahs quarterback.
All day we've been saying that Cheetahs defense have sealed that edge fantastically.
Terrell Jeffers making an excellent stop there for the loss. That's great quarterback play when you can make somebody lose 7 yards on a pass.
I think we're coming into the 2-minute warning now.
It looks like it. 2-minute warning.
Timeout. Officials on the field. 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
The crowd of yellow getting excited. Chiltern, the mascot, the cheetah of the Hertfordshire Cheetahs, waving a flag proudly.
Fantastic news for the Cheetahs. This is a good program and deserve to be in Division 1 and to be champions.
Throws out to the left. That's a high tackle there,
That's a
but
very
he
high
manages
tackle around
to
the
keep
neck.
off the face cage, his leg. Some good sportsmanship helping him up there. In live action, it's hard to get your heads exactly where you want to, but Leg managed to get his arm below the helmet there.
Yeah.
Well, as a player who's been in some big games in his lifetime, what do you think some of the feelings are for the Cheetahs here?
Right now, I think jubilation. I think they're very happy with how they've played. They're high-fiving each other down there. They're happy. I think they're ecstatic. It's a well-earned victory for them coming into 1 minute 30 left. But I think that they're very, very happy.
And what an example to all of Brit ball here with another long throw out of bounds there by Reese. What an example of Brit ball here, two great programs, both going into Division 1 next year, showcasing why it is that that's the case.
And you've got two very different contrasting programs here. You've got the Cheetahs, one of the oldest clubs in England. They've played continuously for many, many years, since the late 80s. But then you've got Portsmouth, very young, started in 2014, have made their way all the way to the final and promotion up to Div 1 in a few years from their associate time.
It is great to see. I agree. There are clubs all around England and the rest of the UK
Time
that are
out,
looking at
Portsmouth.
programs
1
like
minute,
this
8
and saying,
seconds left
how
in the
can I
half.
get to where they are in my respective division, whether it's uni ball, senior ball, juniors, or youth. So how can I get from where I am to a game like this where I can not only close out the season with the victory, but also earn that spot and look like you have some good momentum going into the future.
Yes, definitely. And I think I can see Portsmouth and Hertfordshire both going into Div 1 and making a statement. I really can. Against the likes of, I've forgotten who's in Div 1.
You don't want to throw anyone specifically.
No,
out there,
I don't know.
But I agree. I was going to ask you that, and you read my mind, so it's a good job there. I think both these teams can win some games next year as well. Let's see what Portsmouth does with their last few seconds here. Reese throws it downfield, and he does go over the middle. So one of his stalwarts who breaks a tackle, big, rumbling, tumbling, number 42, Aaron Evers.
He's been a very busy man today, and he's been very, very productive, that man, number 42.
I don't know much about Aaron Evers as a person, but I can say as a player, he's someone that you can clearly depend on. He's been in blocking, catching, all sorts of different things along the offensive side of the ball. And I just love that it looks like you have Mike Allstott running around back there.
Yeah, yes. Cheetahs loading up the box here.
Reese back to pass. Edge rushers pursuing him. Rolls out to his right. Changes direction. Throws it across. That's a poor mistake. And it's intercepted.
With 34 seconds left, that could be all she wrote for the Dreadnoughts, I'm afraid.
I believe it is. Terrell Jeffers with another interception there. If you're a quarterback, just remember this. Don't throw it across your body. If you're rolling out to the right, you need to throw the ball either ahead of you or further to the right. You don't change direction and throw it over the middle of the field. There's just too many players flowing in that direction.
Yes.
But again, in this case, I'm not going to harp on Reese too much. He's trying to make something here in the last few minutes. He's trying to chuck it downfield. I think that shows a lot of fight by both these teams.
Definitely, most definitely.
Victory formation here for the Hertfordshire Cheetahs.
We're gonna kneel out this game.
They've bounced out a bit, so they'll probably hand it off. Let's see what they do. They might just do a kneel. They're trying to get to 11 players. That's a bit funny.
Time out Hertfordshire.
I'm
29
not sure
seconds,
that the
10 and a
Cheetahs
half.
are used to being able to kneel out a game like this. It looks like they struggled to get the right personnel out on the field for the kneel down.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't think they care much about that right now. Oh, that's why, because they're giving their quarterback a chance to run off the field. They knew exactly what they were doing. I apologize.
Fantastic.
They want to get Brown off the field and get a round of applause from their fans and teammates. So they're bringing out some of the old veterans to bring in the young blood. That's great to see. I apologize.
That's fantastic.
Everybody look out for the water jugs
Here
here.
it comes. It's tradition in American football, folks.
Defense.
And as we can see, when we see from this vantage point, Coach Craig Barnes is none the wiser to what's about to happen to him. And there it is,
And
folks.
that is it. The Hertfordshire Cheetahs win. The coach gets dunked with water. What a great sight to see as these teams are jubilant. This team running onto the sideline. Chiltern the Cheetah running along the sidelines like a maniac. The Hertfordshire Cheetahs jumping up and down. Nev, what a sight this is for this team.
Absolutely fantastic. Welcome to Div 1, Hertfordshire Cheetahs and the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts. Well done to the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts for grinding it out today. Absolutely fantastic. But most importantly, well done to the Herts Cheetahs. Well earned today. Absolutely beautiful work.
What raw emotion you get to see at a moment like this. A lot of these players have been here for the ups and downs.
Yeah.
Some of their best friends are here on the club or watching today. What a great chance and what an opportunity for Brit Ball to see a game like this. An excellent performance.
A lot of emotion down there.
Here they are raving, getting that home, well, almost the home crowd to jump up and down. Arms up in the air, getting that crowd noise. Here is Ajayi opening this game with the touchdown.
And here comes that defensive line. Worked so hard today. That man Menace, Andy Dickens, has been phenomenal.
Nev, who stood out to you today for the Cheetahs?
I'm going to say, well, definitely Mr. Adedenji. He's had a phenomenal game. Absolutely phenomenal game today. Just pounding those yards. Fantastic work. But I'm going to say the edge rushes for the D-line. Just keeping that edge and keeping that quarterback contained. Absolutely fantastic there. And of course, Mr. Ben Brown with those 3 interceptions, being where he needs to be. Those DBs all together, fantastic.
A great job here by the Cheetahs across the board, especially on that, well, Adeniji on offense, and then on the defensive side of the ball, that pass rush forced poor throws, and the safeties and defensive backs and linebackers took advantage of it. Great team effort there on all sides of the ball. And just enough of a passing game to get some big plays when they needed it.
Definitely, most definitely. Fantastic work. Fantastic work. They should all be so proud of themselves. But again, commiserations to the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts, but in no way should they walk out of there with their heads bowed down. They fought a good game today. Their defense was absolutely phenomenal, and their special teams. The offense, honestly, ground out all the yards that they could, and they did a fantastic job. Unfortunately, didn't edge out the Hertfordshire Cheetahs there, but honestly, they should walk out of there with their heads held high. They're absolutely fantastic.
Completely agree. I mean, the Dreadnoughts, while a day like this, you're disappointed to lose a game, you're still going to Div 1. You still got a chance to compete at the higher division, and then try to build your program even further up to go to the Premiership. That's where you want to be.
Definitely. I look forward to seeing some of these boys in Div 1. I really, really do.
And a game like this helps you in recruiting a bit as well. You get university players or seniors that are used to one team, and then they go ahead and they say, oh, you know what? Those Cheetahs, they really know how to fight. They're in Div 1 now. I'm going to go ahead and play. Just run down there.
They're asking for Toto by Africa. I just want to point out that it's actually Africa by Toto. Just want to say that now.
Well, as we see the handshakes here, both these teams showing good sportsmanship.
Yeah, wonderful work. And I've got to say, going back to what you said about expanding the team and recruiting and stuff like that, Hertfordshire have a great program. They have a partnership with the Hertfordshire Hurricanes university team. They also have a fantastic relationship with the Hertfordshire Nanos lady team. And it's absolutely fantastic. I really hope that this will see the Hertfordshire Cheetahs go into the future further than they possibly can. and see them really, really do well in the future. And I really want to see Portsmouth, a very young team, I want to see them go further as well. I want to see them take this defeat and use it as fire to go further and really, really make a statement in Division 1.
I agree. We want to see both these teams do well. As you can see, the medals starting to get sorted out by the BAFA officials here. You get a herd of zebras to the right, handshake line in the middle, and the BAFA group over there on the left. As soon as they get through handshakes, we'll get ready for the presentation. You see our producer Steve out there. Hi there, Steve, talking to the BAFA officials.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve. Oh, it's great to see the onside crew logo there.
I just want to say, speaking as a Falcon, I just want to say, Onside Production, you guys have been absolutely fantastic this season, covering our games here at Leicester Road Football Club. I really appreciate everything you're doing for the British game at the moment. You and the Vikings productions as well. Yeah, you guys are doing a wonderful job getting this game to the masses.
We appreciate it. It's been a privilege to cover the Falcons and cover games like this. We have all these different BAFA events going on here. Obviously, we have this Division 2 final.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. First of all, up for medal ceremony, can we please give a big hand for the referees?
And now we hand it over to the BAFA officials. They mean a lot because they mean that you earned a spot in the Division 1's, competitive level of play.
Yes, most definitely. It's well earned by Portsmouth. They didn't quite get as far as they needed to, but they should feel incredibly proud of how far they've got. It's such, as I've said before, it's such a little amount of time. It's a well-organised club to get this far, up to Div 1. It's absolutely fantastic, and they should be so proud of themselves.
And it's good to see younger clubs that, they're often more passionate because they're fighting for it more.
Definitely.
You get people that they haven't, it's not, obviously you can have a club like Hertfordshire who's more experienced and tries to compete for it. Yeah. But it's always great to see these younger clubs just bump up and say, oh, we're ready to compete, we're ready to push ahead.
Yeah.
You get that energy, there's like a new car smell with the team.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. And they've been great to watch today. They really, really have. They really have. Honestly, fair play to them for everything they've done today.
And the great thing about Britball, when you have a team with players that are young enough to come back, a lot of them choose to. It's not like NFL or college in the U.S. where you're losing tons of players to free agency or graduation.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not uni ball where you're losing players to graduation. It's not junior ball or youth where people are aging out.
Yeah.
You might see out of 50 players, 30, 40, 45 players come back next season.
There's always that core group of devoted players who are always there. And I can point out some of the Cheetahs now who were there when I played for them and are still there now grinding it out and doing wondrous things for the club, honestly. And the Portsmouth are most definitely got to be the same. There are those core players who are the heart and soul of that squad and of that club. They are what make Britball great. Apologies.
I agree. Well, now as the Portsmouth Dreadnoughts line up, it means the Hertfordshire Cheetahs can walk through that tunnel and receive their medals here.
Your Southern Football Conference 2 Division champions for 2018, Hertfordshire Cheetahs!
Great sight to see here.
Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
I think I may have missed an inside joke here that they seem to have an affinity for this song, Africa by Toto.
Well, to be fair, it is a great song.
It's a brilliant
It's a fantastic
song. Absolutely. I'm not sure why it's their victory song, but you know what? They seem to love it. You can see the fans here horning, cheering, jumping.
Definitely.
They have a little, this is not my word there, it says hashtag fangirl on their shirts. They're dancing with pom-poms. You got a mascot. You got people in jerseys.
Fantastic
all
work.
Celebrating this team here and their accomplishments.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff. Well earned today for the Cheetahs. Honestly, very, very proud of them, of my old club, and I really hope that they take this and go into Div 1 and make a statement. I really do. Oh, I kind of want to sing along.
Yeah. Sing along at home, folks, because we're not going to do for you here. I think Steve might be singing along. Our producer, no, he's eating a crispy Rice Krispie treat.
And he's not giving me one. I'm so upset. Is there one left? Oh, look at that.
Oh, there's one for each of us.
That's my payment for today.
All brands are available, but I sure am glad that this one's here right now.
Oh, good stuff.
Look at that. Gesturing back to the crowd. Number 14 for the Cheetahs. If you watch on the left side of the screen right now, you can see two Cheetahs bringing in a coach arm in arm. Great to see them supporting him so he can have a chance to walk through this time.
It's a beautiful sight. Fantastic.
Hard to keep the tears back in a moment like that. What a proud moment for this club and for that man.
When you've worked as hard as they have, they've ground out wins all this season and done a fantastic job. And to come up against a team like Portsmouth, who really did make them work for it as well, it's absolutely fantastic at the end of it to come away knowing that everything you did was for something, you know.
Now we get to the coaches, the last player getting his medal and transferring over to the coaches, administrators, support members, all sorts of people that help this club run and be what it is.
And there's my first coach, Ross Begbie, my first O-line coach. Always be thankful to that man for showing me the game and making me the O-line man player I am today.
I want to highlight that these people not only help the club run safely and, you know, keep the club in existence, but they really do focus on making sure these players get the best that they do.
And that's Luke Clark there, the chairman. He really has brought this club into a new age.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll agree we've seen some fantastic performances on the field today from both sides, but there can only be one MVP. The Hertfordshire Cheetahs, number 30, Adam Adeniji.
And here we are with the MVPs. No shock there. Adeniji getting that one.
None at all. Fantastic work by that man.
Now here's a song I expected, Black and Yellow. That seems a bit more fitting.
Even though it is about the Steelers.
Hey, you know what? I think it sounds great.
Yeah, fantastic work, fantastic work.
No
and
surprise
of course,
there for the MVP.
if we want to give Adam Denji that MVP, and it is well earned, but let's give props to the offensive line. No running back is good without a good offensive line. And honestly, they've worked hard today on both sides of the ball. And the offensive line, I say, don't get enough props for the work that they do. So good work to the Cheetahs offensive line.
I think a great job by quite a few players on this Hertfordshire team.
Definitely, they've been fantastic.
Yeah, Adeniji, he did a good job of taking advantages of holes when they were there,
Yeah.
and also making something out of nothing when there weren't really that many holes
A
there.
true athlete, that man. A true athlete, able to get through there, get those yards done, and a very, very smart football player. Well-earned MVP award for Adam Adedenji.
Well, as we wind down here for the last few minutes of this broadcast, I want to share out some thanks to everyone who supported Onside Productions, everyone from producer Steve Matthews to our cameraman Richard coming in here, and obviously Nev and myself here on color commentary and play-by-play. We want to thank you as the viewers for tuning in to this Division II final, and we want to thank Leicester Road Stadium for hosting this event, and very importantly, we want to thank BAFA. Obviously, they have clearly made an effort to promote this game and keep the game, well, improving over time. And a big part of that is visibility.
Yeah.
People see this, please show this to your friends, no matter where you are from in this country, because it gives a chance to promote this game.
Definitely, definitely. Absolutely fantastic day today. Well earned by all. I just want to say absolutely fantastic work of all the ground staff today, Onside Productions. All of you guys have been amazing this entire season, helping the Falcons out, getting us out there. I really look forward to next week, the final, with you guys helping, supporting us next week. So just want to say thank you so much, everybody.
And best of luck to both squads. All right. Yeah, we do want to remind you on that point, next week we have 2 broadcasts on the 8th and the 9th. And those are this version of this game, but for Division I as well as the Premiership. So they're the best teams in their respective divisions. They've earned a promotion in the case of Division I, and they're competing the same way that the teams were here. And then for the Premiership, that is for BritBall's ultimate title.
Yes, it is.
What I would consider the highest league of American football here.
Yep.
You have the senior adult final in the Premiership, and them trying to earn that spot. So again, that's on the 8th and the 9th next week. All right, thank you very much to everyone. Again, it's been Nev and Sean for Onside Productions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.